of Deadlock has so much depth to it, even before you consider the wider game. So that will be draft advantage 1 by DMOV. See where they go with it.
Also, the players are taking a little bit of extra time to get in the draft, so we got a little bit of time to delve into the history, notably the head-to-head history between Abrahams and Leviathan, where Leviathan have had some
haven't popped in here since Super Vibe.
As a team that's been together for a long
we've
time,
been vibing,
no stranger to going up against
now,
Abrahams.
we're just kind of like right now on Wednesdays. I'm going to test watching Night Shift a little bit, even if it's only for an hour or two. It's kind of like when just talk
this is a long history. I mean, this is getting close to a minor patch from Yoshi, but in terms of our tournament history here, Leviathan and Abraham's been going at it for a long time, but it's gonna be interesting, you know, as you're talking about, we've got this dynamic now where we kind of reset this a little bit in our minds because of the new look Leviathan. And so when we check out the overall winners here, after the back and forth where Abraham's, Loki W, Leviathan all copping wins week to week, finally it kind of feels like Loki W have asserted themselves, obviously between last week's win and the previous loss.
I don't know much about EU, so that's why I wanted to watch it.
Open where they really truly looked very dominant, and it kind of feels like where Loki W are right now, that they're going to continue to have a streak for the first time in EU for a while.
See if there's anything I can learn.
Okay, I have to see if they can hold it this week.
I was gonna just do aim training, but I was like, I'll do that before I actually
play. Has not had many runs on top, right? It's been a long time since Buff Enjoyers were running the table, like months and months. So, I mean, in the past, it was Abraham's to take that spot from them. Maybe the revamped Leviathan roster can put up a challenge today.
Also, I have to call out our chat for just being the most degenerate channel point users of all time, where we're just hearing the calls for people. It's like, let us throw down channel points on the Mo 1v1. Just add another hit. The hit before the actual.
That's what they should have done.
Like, you know, just let me say it's gonna win. Where, by the way, a lot of people would have lost the house on channel points, but
we should though. Why not? Yeah. Why not? Let the people have what they want, even if it's degeneracy.
Yeah, let us gamble, bro.
The pitch to DraftKings and just only do it for the Mo 1v1s.
Jack said you're pretty good at Deadlock. What position do you play? I play a lot of support.
I'm not allowed to participate in those because I usually
I play a little bit of pick,
before
but
it goes on broadcast.
I feel like pick hasn't been strong in ranked
actually for a while. Be insider trading.
It's crazy, CP. How'd you get 1 billion channel points?
I don't know. It just showed up in my account.
It's a really smart bettor.
Notice how he said usually and not doesn't. Kind of suspicious. TP.
You know, just how it is. But you know, to take the light of guilt away from me here, we're gonna go into the draft, which is hopefully ready. Otherwise, it's gonna get real awkward. Production, save us. Or save me.
No, but I play a lot with Jack. He's probably like my main duo at the moment.
There's gonna be changes in the draft here today.
I don't know where he is today.
Taking a look at scrims over EU. Again. I don't know. There's different priorities coming about.
I wanted to try to start streaming,
and not the least of which is that Pocket may not be permabanned today.
Yeah, always interesting to see things shift over, and you know, I think there's going to be a real priority on heroes that can both stay in.
I know nothing about what he usually drafts.
Absolutely baited. Love
it.
Okay,
Pocket ban, pretty standard.
Well, look,
still not making it through.
He got through most of those scrims in EU yesterday, and Leviathan is like, well, no, it's the best one. We're just gonna let this go through. The interesting thing, though, Dan, in terms of heroes, is that we saw rumblings of maybe Calico getting played. We saw rumblings of Mirage coming back in actually for one game. We saw Mirage Calico actually win one of these scrims. So things have been changing a little bit.
Yeah, and
maybe I wanted to play it in scrims. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it's scrims, right? You're supposed to play stuff that's stupid because maybe people are wrong.
Very raising the priority of the picks, but
fuck Silver. This character needs to be shot.
But that's really cool to see.
Ban over Silver, right? Like. The
Silver is so OP.
We see Silver first pick
it is actually
constantly, right, in that competitive play.
Yeah.
And to ban GT over it is quite a statement.
I can take whatever they throw at me.
And the other hero that was actually catching a lot of bans, Dan, was Abrams, where people have realized, wait, this hero is actually good again. Abrams is, to me, perpetually stuck in the Shiv cycle of the hero will get nerfed, people will be like, I don't know anymore, and then you give it a few weeks, and be like, wait, no, he's still amazing.
No, he's always good. Okay, yeah, we all knew Doorman
in this case, gonna be backed up with the Doorman.
Dude, it's like we always knew that these characters, like Shiv is still good.
I mean, Abrams, I think
it's just that there's all this other Thanos shit that's going on right now.
You get all of these, like, the circle meta, as it were. Obviously, Abrams was rising in popularity at the same time that was happening, and of course, that makes him just even better with the new earn fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by any of these picks so
obviously,
far.
Abrams performs still really well in that, so it's no surprise. The Doorman also is interesting because Doorman's still really sick. With the bell builds are very annoying, and the utility, especially for those earn fights, still very effective. So a pretty obnoxious opener for Abraham's
Victor.
or rather
Okay,
from
more
Leviathan's
frontline.
perspective.
Now, Jake, the other hero that's been coming back into play, which probably delights you a little bit given your hero pool, is Viscus has been a higher priority than you, both for picking and banning, and oftentimes doesn't get through
They draft
mid-stage
their
bans
M1s late.
nowadays.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, you can see why. I mean, I think with stuff like GT out of the pool, maybe it'll be less proud, but no, it still goes here early enough. And
I think
do
Viscus
like
is
the
so
character
large
right now. I mean, I had a crazy game
The
the other day
Brazilian, how you
where
doing?
I built not anything, only purple items. It
Like,
actually brought me back to the
I think
old days of
Viscus is
Viscus,
good
just
in comp,
nuking
but like
people
in
from
ranked,
across the
so
map. And
bad.
I think what makes this character feel good right now is that, you know, you can save people inside of that King of the Hill with the cube, keep them contesting.
Rem
you can
ban, dude,
roll and stay
honestly,
alive.
I
Like, you're
never
actually
play against Rem in
pretty
ranked. I swear to
powerful
God,
at
I just
challenging
never play
enemies
against
who
him.
are confined to a small radius. So I
He's really
think
good,
the
but
earn change has been great for Viscus, and you know, frankly, suits him well. I'm interested to see how Victor plays out
Deadlock
this
game
game
is
for
so good.
Leviathan.
No,
I think
it's
there's
gas,
good
it's gas.
responses
See, yeah,
from
Shiv ban.
Abrahams, whether
I'm
you're
not surprised.
putting him
Shiv
in the
is
Baroness
good.
Hotel or you know, just
I mean,
disrupting
Viscus
him,
is
poking
good
him from range with Viscus.
in comp.
I like the draft so far from Abrahams.
Just want to
So
say you
Dan,
inspire
there's
me to
probably some
stream
people
Marvel
at home
Rivals. Okay,
wondering
bye.
why
All
in
right.
the world would Shiv
See
get
you, brother.
banned here, you know, for Leviathan? Doesn't Freemog play Shiv?
Okay, there's the Venator.
And, you know, the
Have a
reality
good
is
time
that even
playing
if you have
Marvel
a really
Rivals,
good
bro.
hero or player on a hero, you know, there's only so many people that can play the certain heroes. And for Leviathan, you know, Freemog, he has other priorities on this roster.
Victor
Yeah,
better
I mean,
than Viscus?
if you're
Has more
true,
agency than
but
Viscus.
I will
Viscus
see
is
your team
good
up on your
because
team, right?
there's like these really strong
So,
Thanos
I feel
characters,
like
and if you just
you're not
cube the
hurting
Thanos
for Shiv
character,
players on Leviathan.
then they don't get like
Go
killed by
McGinnis,
Silver.
who
So like
got
because they have
pretty
Silver
heavy,
and Paradox that are just
right,
gonna
in
like
that
pick
recent
someone off,
change, and people, I think,
Viscus
really
cube
shied
stops
away
them
from
from
her.
being
So
good.
for Leviathan
But the
to
thing
go
is, in
back
ranked,
at
there's
fourth, I
no
think is
there's
pretty
no
impressive here from
draft,
McGinnis.
so it's like I can
So
play
I'll say
Viscus
there,
and then I can have all these characters.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I was
matter.
more
Mina?
referring to the fact that normally it's Freemog on
Mina
Shiv and Silver,
McGinnis?
but for Paradox,
Really?
that's been D-Mob's thing recently, where D-Mob
Mina's
is
so
like
bad right now.
He's turned into the Paradox player in recent tournaments, where he's like, yep, I'm just going to be playing Paradox nonstop. I mean, who can blame him? He was doing well in Paradox on ping and now gets to come back to EU and play without the ping. But, you know, take a look at the Abraham's end of things
Mirage?
here, Dan. Mirage is back in play. And we saw this in
it's
scrims
good because they
yesterday,
can't
so
go
it's not
Viscus.
entirely unexpected. In fact, it could still get backed up with Calico, with Sanya on the Calico, rather.
Maybe it's the case.
What?
That people, there you go. CP knows his ball. You know, this could be one of those things where it's just taking people a while to figure it out. You know, like how to convert it in the way that they're supposed to. So I'm gonna you know, reserve some faith in Abraham's here that they know what they're doing with this pick, especially because it's best of one. You know, you don't want to be messing around too much.
Why
with this
are we
draft.
seeing
This
Calico?
also kind of interesting. And speaking of
Viscus is
interesting,
basically
we're
free
getting to
shift on
C7,
anyone. Yeah,
who
but
is
you don't
someone that
have
we see
any
more
like
of,
personal
we've been
fucking
talking,
agency.
more
You just
about,
press 2
you know,
on
off
people.
camera
That's
we were
why I
talking
hate.
about,
That's
the
why I
reappearance
put
of Seven.
Viscus
So
so
great
low
to
on
see
my
it
tier
here in
list.
the opening matchup
Because it's
too.
like you can't do
I
anything
will
yourself.
say, if you think about
It's
the game right
purely
now
just
as like
comp.
the circle meta, you know, this has to be not a free win for Leviathan, but they look drastically
Calico for
stronger
the
to
Abrams,
me,
I guess. Dude,
when it
I don't
comes
know.
to
I don't know.
brawling
I
on
think
those
this
earned
Calico
contests,
pick is
whether
insane.
It's like, I mean, basically every single character on the team. Maybe Silver's not the
Rizian,
best
I don't know
at
if
it, but
you
everyone
can
has
tell,
like
but we're
something
not
pretty
making a new
powerful
Marvel
to bring to the
rival guys
table
anytime
on those
soon.
earned fights. And even the Silver roll is just like something that enemy
Yeah.
really
Rainbow
wants to run away
cheeseburger in
from
11
more
days, let's
often than
fucking
not,
go,
which
let's fucking
you know
go, bro.
isn't such a good option for you when you're trying to defend the earn. So Abraham's, they're gonna have to
OGW
find a lot of
drafted it with
kills, a lot
Billy.
of value on the side lanes from the Venator Mirage. I think to justify this, I'm
You
also
protect
very
the president
curious
every
to see
single
how the
game.
seven
Yeah, but the
plays
thing
out
is like
for
if your president
Leviathan,
is shit,
and
then
how
like
much
what's the
farm
point, bro?
prio it's getting.
Literally,
because
what's
as I
the
look at
point?
this
If your
Leviathan
president is
draft,
shit, your president is shit.
I'm like, is it going to be Victor Mina on the side lanes, or is Seven going to kind of get a side
Whereas
lane?
if you play like Ivy or Kelvin, you at least have like some agency. Like,
I
okay,
think
my
as
president
I've
is
looked
getting
at it
fought.
in the
Or let me
drafts
just
and how
dome
people
him,
playing it, like no one was
and then we just
playing,
win the dome
Poverty
fight.
7 for the most part. Like Seven,
Like I love
wants to
Viscus,
actually
don't get me
get
wrong,
farmed,
he's
even though
my
I think
main, but like
realistically,
right now I would just
a
never
more
play him
support build
because I.
Seven could be more effective.
It's
than
ranked, that's the
expected.
issue.
It's just not something teams have been going for. They've usually been
And what's
putting,
crazy is this
you know,
Viscus character
your
might get
position one
nerfed,
players
bro.
on it more often than not. But you know, Dan, as I look at the draft here, what are your takes on which team has the advantage, you know, early in the mid game? Because I think there's multiple ways it could play out, and also like different ways that Abrahams wants to fight this relative to Leviathan.
Like Ivy, I can just
Yeah,
perma stun
I
somebody. By
definitely
the way,
agree.
I can perma stun
Abrahams
someone
have a
for
lot
5
of really
seconds.
Awesome ways to pick. Obviously,
Viscus,
Calico is
with
still
Viscus
amazing
ball, bro,
at being an assassin.
Straight
Mirage
up,
has a lot of mobility as
like
well for
I can't even perma stun anyone anymore. But Ivy can fucking do it for 5 seconds.
Changed about it and why we need
Bro,
to
he's
not have
too
it.
strong
Like, all the
low. I mean, his
objectives
cube is
stacked in
really
mid
strong,
is
but
that
like,
there is a
give me more
value
agency, bro.
exchange that you can take where you can say, well, we're going to split push the
Yeah,
map.
I mean,
you
the thing
can
is
have
with
that
Ivy is she
dominance.
does take
We
a
don't
little bit
play
longer
that
to
game.
get her
So
items.
Abraham's definitely have good tools for that.
And we're not returning to Marvel Rivals anytime soon.
To play around both objectives, but also ganks and just be really strong utility. And they've got good save. And so I do think that the stylistic differences in these compositions means that we do have to see completely different win conditions. And I mean, Abraham's, maybe they try to avoid what is strong for Leviathan.
The only reason Viscous is good is because other characters are so OP that the cube is just like
the disadvantage
really strong
situations where all the invasions
because like, dude,
jungle and so on happen.
The silver character is so broken.
Dynamic.
But I guess what this is like because
so Jake, I gotta ask,
because they were letting them have silver, they knew that like they'd just play Viscous to counter it.
Elements
like, I don't know. That could be their draft, but like the Calico's weird.
When you change out 3 of your players, in many ways you can almost argue it's practically a brand
reduced
new
damage
team.
taken in ball. I mean, it used to
are
be
we
that,
actually going to see a full strength Leviathan here today when clearly they've only been screwing with this roster for a little bit?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You know, it's like sometimes it can be a disadvantage, right, to be that new team and to be coming together, and maybe things aren't as coordinated. Maybe there's some friction about how your communication works.
In terms of drafts,
also I think there can be sometimes that honeymoon phase where everyone's excited about the new team together. Everyone puts their best foot forward.
The Abraham's draft more honestly
on in the history of new team, and magic can happen.
They have so many answers to Silver and McGinnis.
I definitely won't count Leviathan out. On top of the fact that these are all at this point like veteran players who have shown like really impressive results historically. That being said, Abrahams they're tried and true, right? I think like Saints Abrams has always been fantastic from my perspective. Although in this game, maybe he'll be on the Viscous or something else of that nature. But I really like the way Abrams has played. I think they getting the Doorman here looks scary. I'm really curious to see how the Vendetta Mirage plays out. Like I haven't seen the double carry setup in quite some time, especially in this meta around the urn. Like. They
only got to worry about Silver. I mean, you got to worry about McGinnis a little bit, but I don't know. I think McGinnis is not that good anymore. I'm gonna be honest.
For somebody like Seven,
especially when they have a character like Calico that can just jumper now, like
being pretty farmed, being
I actually don't think it's that bad
to clear things quickly. I'm a Seven enjoyer myself.
I actually don't think McGinnis is that good.
This character is like an insane win rate. People talk about this a lot. Really insane win rate, even at the highest ranks. But he just doesn't get touched in pro play. So Leviathan, gonna give him a shot. I'm really excited to see if that one actually plays out for them.
Dan, we are desperately trying to fill time for the players as we're waiting for them to get in the lobby. EU normally doesn't do this to us. It's more of an NA specialty, but free space for you. What are you thinking right now on this draft?
Yeah, no, one thing I was thinking about was I think it's actually really interesting how Abrahams, they do have some interesting tools to deal with some of the scarier teamfight stuff with Leviathan, and a lot of it I think comes back to the utility that Doorman provides with his ultimate, either being able to interrupt a 7 mid-ult, interrupt McGinnis mid-ult, interrupt Silver mid-ult, like throw them all into the Baroness. Also Victor, like taking out some of these particular heroes in the fight. I think most notably Silver when she goes into Lycan Curse. I think that's like very impactful, and there's a lot of variance, right, based on who is Doorman going to be able to ult?
I mean, Viscous is really good in the Abraham's draft here.
I think some of these fights pretty
drastically. Really fucking good.
I do think that Abrahams do have options when they are pushed into this
Silver and Paradox. Like he counters all of the broken characters right now.
To approach the team fights,
but it doesn't mean that Viscous is good.
The job of Calico
it just means that he has an ability that stops broken characters from Thanos snapping
because
people.
Otherwise,
it's just the state of the game that makes him good. I don't think his numbers are good. It's conceptually he just stops one person from killing everyone.
By the way, just to show how much has changed in even 1 week of the draft, we never did show the Shift 41 hero priority either here or on social media. Truthfully, I probably should have got a post up on that, or we should put on broadcast, but we have a perfect opportunity to reflect on what we saw last week and how it's already different from today. If production happens to have that handy. I just have a lot of faith that we have it, and yeah, there we go. So
no Calvin
already
picks.
You see, relative
Crazy,
to last week,
Calvin feels so good. Ivy feels
you have
so
Seven
good.
Who got picked once, and that was an NA, already making an appearance. You got Calico, who is not around forever, Jake, making her.
But look at all these characters,
so
bro.
Already some
all of these characters
here.
Are just like, oh.
Interesting that Billy went completely uncontested.
This guy's running my team down. I'm gonna cube my carry and hope he doesn't die.
Right? Needed those heroes. Got contested at all, and these have both been very top tier picks for a long time, right? Like teams just say, hey, we want to win these team fights, really valuing it. I wonder if part of that equation actually isn't the change of the urn itself. I think like the fact that you can play in all these different sort of corners while the urn dunk is going on, you can kind of like play that AoE and play under some structure, doesn't make Lash feel a little bit weaker if people are basically just going to hide from his ultimate and maybe mitigate some of the value. And same for Billy. It's like you go for this one big all-in play on Billy, but if people can just play the zone and kind of like time you out, maybe that's not paying off as well. I mean,
That's
just a
like
little bit of
Billy's
theory
really
crafting,
strong.
but it is interesting to see such a huge shift for
Billy's
heroes
insanely
that
strong.
were not really changed. Maybe
think
like
Abrams
Billy was
might be
buffed
more
recently.
consistent.
Lash has been strong for a very long time, and for neither of them to get touched, I'm curious if NA has the same take or if we won't see those heroes making a return.
Yeah. One thing I'll add here as well, ZP, is that I think we can also see the impact of Loki W on this as well, because Loki W actually changed the hero priority, I think, in quite a few ways. You had Warden, who
right,
I think until
DEADLOck.
Loki W and Zergy playing him in the Night Shift Open wasn't really someone like people were going
Sinclair
to
is
for that M1 role,
paused
but
too?
Zergy showed that it was really
What
impactful.
this is like
and continued to show
picks
dominance
and
on it.
bans.
And then Rem, I think,
For
is
example,
another one.
these
Like,
people
teams,
were
yeah,
picked
where
or
they were
banned
playing
to
Rem,
it's hero
but no one
priority.
was playing Rem nearly
It's
as
not
well
like
as
priority
LKW,
in terms
and
of
so
farm
I
priority.
think
It's
that kind
hero
of showed the
priority in
potential
terms
there
of like
how you can
the
play
number of
Rem at
times
the top
that
level
they
and
were
make it
picked or
work.
banned.
And Viscous, I think, is another one. Viscous is another one that Loki W picked time and time again, was a core part of their drafts. And I think that's, I mean, I think that some of these, the ones I mentioned, I think it's all Loki W picks that we're seeing.
Trust me, I think Viscous is really good.
The
when you have a
heroes
good
that
team.
you may see today that
makes a
just
good team
based
better,
again
but
off
he
of
makes
some
a
of the
bad
scrims we're
team
down
just,
EU
like,
and NA
worse,
is
'cause then
that
he can't do
Yamato
anything.
was getting experimented with more a little bit, and so was Graves. So I don't know if either of those two heroes will stay at 0 over the course of the day.
I don't know. Seeing
Also, I
Calico
just kinda
picked here
think
is
that
just like,
as far as
what the
Abrams go,
fuck is
Abrams
going
is
on,
probably
man?
going to be in every single game today, whether it be pick or ban. And I think often
We'll probably
in
watch
the
like
first
a
pick,
game
first
or
ban
two, and then probably have
range
to get
from
off.
what we saw. Like Abrams has actually been on the rise, and if you were to go week over week, it'd be like, okay, Abrams a little bit more, and suddenly, yep, Abrams is back on top. And the one change is that
the shit that Abrams can do is actually
comedically,
criminal.
Pocket was the very first hero banned. Teams are still a little bit more willing to let Pocket through than they were a week or two ago, where he was just perma first banned, no matter what.
I actually think Abrams, maybe the forced movement of an Abrams charge has just gone up drastically in value, because if you're in a scenario where there's one enemy player, like their tankiest guy is just like holding it down inside of the earn zone, and biting is just like basically preventing you from capping, making a lot of time for the rest of the team to like put down damage. Now you
got
really
some
need to have
Destiny to
more
do,
than one
Waga?
person in the earn zone, or Abrams can just like
if
pin
people
you
get on,
out,
I guess I'll
and
play
the
it, but I
dunk's
was
just
gonna
gonna
play
go
Deadlock later.
through, right? So even if you
If
maybe
people are
can't
on
deal with the
for
tank in terms of
Pantheon, I'll
actually
just end
finishing them
stream, I
off, dealing
guess,
the
at some
damage, being able to control
If
people's
I'm the only one
movement
people are
and
waiting
maybe
on, I'll do
punishing
it.
them
I don't
for
care.
stacking up. I feel like Abrams just fights incredibly well in those little areas on the side lanes right around the bridge, right? Just a lot of tight corners where he can kind of jump out and catch you by surprise, on top of the tankiness to let him be one of those key frontliners holding the line. But that's enough yapping from us, man. We got some games to play.
Yep, the yapping is finally over, though little does Jake know it's going to be thrown directly back into our casters for this game. It's going to be DDK and Jake taking away the broadcast. Dan, you're first to speak. Go for it.
Yeah, we finally get to see this new look Leviathan, which is very interesting. I'm super excited, because the other thing too, Jake, that's worth mentioning is I think Abrahams as well they've kept the continuity of their roster, and they've been looking to kind of work and iterate and improve, and so we could also see them level up, and at the same time seeing Leviathan have that kind of maybe honeymoon period. So it should be a really interesting game.
This dude's already gone.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see who ends up piloting what for Leviathan in particular.
Can we press tab? I want to see who's on what.
With some of these new players coming in, you got players like Dimov, right, who we know are insanely flexible, but I'm curious to see how they actually choose to sort the roster, who goes where.
We got Saint on the Viscous.
And okay, it is going to be together on Abrams, Saint on the Viscous,
Sonya on Calico.
Definitely, I think for me, eyes on this game on Saint and Taz. Like the explosive spirit nuking from Doorman and Viscous can be a game changer here, especially being able to do
Viscous
things like
Abrams,
pop the Victor ulti,
Mirage Doorman,
punish the Mina if she oversteps.
Venator Calico.
Definitely going to be
McGinnis
crucial
7.
Here.
So trying to set up
Sonya
a good
Calico,
early
so,
for them.
once again,
okay, Mina Silver is
incredible
crazy.
Flexibility being showcased
And that's on
here
what?
the server.
Is that green lane?
Yeah, and
Or is that yellow? I can't fucking tell. I think that's green.
A hero that I always associate with Zergy, I gotta say, on the 7.
Yeah, it's green.
That's going to be really interesting. OC's is, I mean,
they put the
if
carriers
you
over
play
here,
Deadlock,
more
you probably
stuff
use
over
an
here.
OC's build at some point, and he's, I think, considered
this is just
by a lot of
survive
people
lane
to
for
be
them.
maybe the
You're
best.
not gonna
like,
live into a Mina
but,
Silver,
like,
bro.
pound for pound.
But that's
for
why
that
they have
M1 role.
fucking
Like, if we're
Viscous
talking
Abrams.
the pure M1 in Europe right now, OC's is definitely in the argument, if not the best player. And so I'm super excited to see what he's going to do with 7. Now 7's made his way back in to the meta, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Little zip knocker ass here on the together. Always a nice one for Workham, which somebody who we haven't talked about is a bit of a newcomer to the space. I don't know that Workham has played on the night shift before. Maybe I'm wrong, but definitely exciting. You know, for me, I think Deadlock, we sort of have this idea of like, hey, the players have built real history, but I think more than just about any other game that's being played competitively right now, there's incredible room for newcomers. We've seen that in NA recently, and here in EU as well, right? Like,
I mean, there really
is still the opportunity for people to break in. You know, you maybe think the top players are insanely good right now, but just you wait a couple of years, it's going to be a lot crazier. So excited to get fresh faces here on the competition.
Yeah, totally agree. It's going to be really cool to see what teams, new teams pop up over time. It's inevitable. I mean, we've been seeing it here on
the skirmish
on the night
with the Mina Viscus here
over time. So that said,
we're watching a lane that's nothing's going on.
You know, we talked a little bit about some of the
Abrahams wins lane. I don't know.
The win conditions.
Leviathan lanes are pretty fucking strong,
drafts, dude. Like where they're going to have the inherent
both
advantage.
Lanes, all the lanes are pretty strong on both sides, to be fair.
And so I'm curious what your take is.
Just depends on how they play it.
On which of these teams is going to have the advantages in the lane. Who needs to have the who is it more important for to have that tempo coming out of the early lane phase?
Ooh, Sonya does get a kill onto OCs, and
or is it just because
honestly,
it's Sonya Sniper?
I can kind of see it both ways. I think Abrahams has a draft with, other than Mirage and Venator, right? There's a pretty sick fighting group of 4 here, which typically how I'm looking at Deadlock drafts these days is like, who are the 4 that are going to fight around mid lane, and who are the 2 that are going to play side lane? I mean, it's oversimplification, right? The game ends up being a lot more nuanced than that, but at its most base level, that group of 4 looks insane for Abrahams. I'm also just super curious to see how the farm actually ends up stacking up between somebody like Seven and a more conventional carry. Obviously, Seven going down early definitely hurts. I mean, this is a hero who is not necessarily the best laner, but you just want to come out of the lane.
We've been seeing this mid lane the whole fucking time.
Reasonably farm the tower if you can hold it to buy the space.
Are we going to see a roam?
It's really the goal on the
Seven. We're going to see a Viscous roam maybe to blue?
Definitely eyes on OC to see how he can recover this game.
Good pressure here in the mid lane. From
10 seconds is where you would see a roam here, if anything.
We're getting really aggressive as well. The quick
the aggression's good though, because it sets up a bunch of damage, which means they get to take their tier 1 camp here.
Is the lane partner. You've got McGinnis there, which has been played by Hapex, and McGinnis is really interesting because she's very strong in the laning phase, and so what you could see is McGinnis helping to win that lane very quickly with Seven, and then you just move McGinnis elsewhere, and then you've got a Seven kind of more guaranteed that solo farm a little bit earlier.
Yeah, definitely. If they can, take that tower, would be huge. I will say Arzo and Sonya have done a fantastic job stabilizing things. This should just see Victor as well in the mid for overseas. I think definitely another character that wants to have a solid game here, right? Wants to be tanky enough that that incoming damage on the earn fight is tolerable, even when it is these like heavy spirit nukes. Curious also to see what build Victor goes for. I mean, we've seen really committed gun builds on Victor. Obviously, I think the original Victor build is like the super heavy.
But I've been watching blue for the past 5 minutes. There we go, finally.
But I think things are open, right? With an objective change, the priorities on the builds change too.
Honestly, like the Abrams Viscous into the silver Mina is like such a strong.
Oh, we're getting to the
like they're not going to win this lane, but they're going to live this lane.
So we have those bridge buffs coming up momentarily. It'll be cool to see, how those fights go. I think, one of the things that Abrams is really good at is definitely those bridge buff fights. We've got priority teams looking for priority on their waves so that they can manage to get to that bridge buff position quicker.
Like sometimes just living the lane against Mina is just all you need to do, and then she's
a nasty lane too. Silver Mina, like this is gonna hit very hard. Viscous Abrams is incredibly durable, but even it's hard to imagine. I think any lane really gonna be tanking through the output from Silver and Mina when the ults come up.
I mean, that's true. When the ults come up, it's going to be difficult, but you still have
both of the buffs too. I actually kind of felt like, especially with that little push right there on that Abrams lane, that Leviathan were going to have positioning for it, but they actually lost out on both buffs.
This is the lane that was a really big deal, because this decides a lot. The Calico got a quick early pick on Seven.
Definitely helpful as this tower goes down. We talked about the importance of going the other way. This is great work here. And they're going very deep here. Oh, what a shot, the flick. But Arizona, you love to see that. Sonya Sniper is still here.
Still got a kill though, and like look at the Seven.
I mean, this lane I feel like has gone very, very well here for the.
Is Calico compy?
Yeah, the fact you're able to get this take is definitely something very nice. I will say, I think Seven doesn't completely losing the tower. McGinnis is going to almost certainly roam and maybe look elsewhere. And
kind of surprised they died for Seven. It had to have been a big mistake.
Very curious to see what the build is. It's really surprising me that Seven hasn't bought more items here. And with like the
he's just playing a
headshot
hyper farm
booster, or no, what's it called? Is it crippling?
Weakening
It's not
headshot.
crippling. Weakening headshot. That is.
Yeah.
It's like a very odd buy for me. I guess it works on creeps now, so
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it works on
it's
creeps, which is why
not
it's really good.
crazy, but I don't think I've ever seen this item bought this early on 7.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, it should definitely speed up the farming a lot. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, obviously it's OCs, right? OCs is the author of all the builds we all follow, so I guess we just have to trust that it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. If anyone was gonna show off a new build here, it would be OCs. That guy is definitely one of the leaders in terms of the meta right now.
This is true.
It's like we've lost.
Hold us at 6 minutes and 45 seconds from the Venator. That is really good.
Paying crazy dividends. He's been healing the entire duration of this. McGinnis puts her life on the line to defend the tower, which will work for now, but feels like a matter of time. Calico's coming in, looking for the finish.
Okay,
no
did a
ulti on
whole
Victor,
combo.
she
Every
can get that
ability,
chase down.
250 damage.
Yeah, definitely.
People are going to be like, this
from
character's
Leviathan
good.
on that mid lane.
I don't know.
I'm
I'm
curious.
curious.
Are going to have a better time of it with the
At least she
three-player
has good mobility.
aggression. But speaking of three-player aggression, we do have the same thing now for Leviathan on the right side of the map, challenging into what is a very weak Guardian. As McGinnis gets sent
so the
into
doorman saw that
I don't know if
she
they
used
can
both
follow up
stam.
on that,
Okay,
but
this
in the
Guardian.
meantime, this
That's
right-side
to
Guardian
be
does go down.
expected, right? But they didn't feed Mina
a couple
too
Guardian
much in
takes
the
coming
early
in for
game, which is really
Abrams.
strong. He
If they
fucked
can
up a
find
little bit.
more. Fremont on a little.
Actually, no, he
movement
didn't.
showcase
That's
here.
You can't.
But yeah, the Baroness, I think that's going to
I mean,
be.
overall,
good enough
it's a
to open
game
up
right
this
now that's
tower.
going about as
This is something
planned.
that, I mean, with McGinnis, Victor, and mid, you really wanted to avoid. So Taz showing the power of Doorman, just getting rid of your defender, but maybe the counter push is going to come right in. This looks to be shaping up for a major team fight.
Yeah, there's good zoning with the McGinnis wall, but
The
a
Mirage
lot
is
of
kinda
defensive capabilities brought in
Silver
by
sees the
Abraham,
build off,
forcing
but
the
this
push back
Viscus is
here.
not letting
And now
her.
suddenly, very vulnerable players for Leviathan. They thought they were in a good spot there
She
for
got
that
off,
push,
but it was too
but
late. She's already too low. She'll get
the
out there
tables have been
probably.
turned. Having to go all the way back to the Walker. Oh my goodness. Just barely surviving his free mark, but even if he survives, I mean, a lot of value, I would say, from Abrahams on that defense.
Trophy
Yeah,
collector.
this is huge. I mean, you get pushed back. Sinners
pro
just
play.
spawned. I mean, there's going to be a price paid for this.
I'm so
Abrams
curious about the
already
Calico.
up.
Is
6K
Calico
solo lead.
actually compy?
Hey, you see what Calico just bought?
Yeah.
That is a
saw.
trophy collector Calico.
I mean, hey, I think if there's a hero who's going to do it, right, it should be Calico. This makes way too much sense. Maybe she's a little bit too deep, though. Has ulti. Should be okay to play her way out of this, but pulling a lot of attention, and there's more fight on this side of the door as well.
Are they still going to keep chasing, though? I mean, they're getting blocked by a few other players. Might still be able to make it out.
This
Still,
is
now available.
criminal.
So, oh yeah, they're cutting line of sight.
That is criminal,
Wow,
bro.
I love the ult through the door. That was pretty cool.
Dude, why is the McGinnis
Taz
allowed
pops
to
everything
do
for now.
that?
Delays things, but there could be an
Nah,
opportunity
dude,
here.
what is going on?
Demo picks up a Guardian. Fremont still has ultimate, but it's gonna maybe struggle to proc it. The damage is coming in. They're really trying to just burst this Silver down.
Yeah,
That
we're
decay
missing a fucking
from
blue
Viscus
ball,
is
bro.
starting to bite, and with just a little bit of HP left, yeah, Silver just has to run for it.
Nah,
Abrams
dude,
slams
this
in
is
over
crazy.
the top. Fremont can't really get into this
I mean,
fight.
like, dude, this game is like
Abrams
already just
throwing their weight around
spiraling
on the
out of
map right now.
control.
I wonder if Fremont will live.
Look at
here, but
Venator.
if
He's
so,
already
that'd
gotten a
be
free
two
kill
just
again.
ridiculous
He's
escapes that
11k
Fremont has already had
before
this
10
game.
minutes.
Escaping the ball there, I thought that ball locked down, and that was like so cool and a little smart setup there, combined with the Doorman Baroness.
I'm just
but
curious as how this
So
guy's
far, we're
still
seeing
just
priority
running
for
no
Abrahams all
HP, bro.
across the map. The scoreline's pretty close at 6k advantage for them, but they are really winning all of these fights. You know, when they come in for the defense, they always push Leviathan back so far. Their presence across the entire map has been pretty annoying, and I think, you know, we talked about how Calico really adds to that.
I want to see this
and we have
build.
seen that, I think, from Sanya Sniper. He's been very annoying, but with that said, you know, with Calico, you've got to be careful about your.
He really is
the
just
soul
roaming around
value,
doing
but
whatever he wants.
the
Right,
bridge
pick right
bus
here.
come up here, and once again,
Oh my
looking
god, what a
good
fucking
for Abrahams.
that's just so cheap.
Yeah, big snipe. Dimov grabs the buff, but pays with his life. Does not feel worth there.
And the 7's about to
Beetle
die too.
Over the top, putting
The
down a
7
bit
is
of
so
damage.
cooked.
and
Can we see the
still
7 die,
sanguine
please?
To play her way out, but
No,
in the end,
no fucking
Saint
way.
still stays alive here on the Viscus. And
Okay, the
I
7
think
gets
it
out
bullied
in
back.
time.
They
The
do
Silver's
not
back.
get to
Okay, now
escape
it's
that
bad.
with the buff, just denying the
No,
spirit buff.
okay,
That
now
feels
if
like
they
that's
find
probably
this
not worth
pick,
your
if
life
7
from
finds
Dimov.
this pick on Venator, they actually just bring the game back.
Absolutely. That's a nice deeping slash there.
If this Venator
Found
gets
the
away,
shadows
he's
to get
insane.
out of dodge.
Okay,
But this
the
is
game
it.
just got
OC's
brought back,
farmed up, doing a nice bit of damage overhead, controlling the space, and that will secure this Guardian as well. So that's
And all of
nice
a sudden,
pickup. We
Leviathan
have
is back
an
in this
coming up
game.
in a minute,
OC
so
is
continue to
caught
do
up.
That setup work for the map control, and Fremont, I don't think he's getting out of it this time.
No, he's
Yeah,
dead.
surely he's gonna take
It
out.
doesn't matter,
I mean,
though.
he
They slowed
cannot
down
take
the
the full
Venator.
damage here, but it looks like he will. Just gets popped. Trophy collector.
The game
stats.
is back.
He's starting to get up
Wow,
here. I mean,
okay,
Sonya's getting
okay,
involved
that's
in all of
crazy,
these
bro.
fights.
They should have went for the 7 when I
7-0
saw.
from OCs,
I wish
though.
we could have seen
Definitely
the play, but I
showing
just
threat.
saw it on the
He's
map, and I
going
just knew.
for, I think, pretty much a gun
I mean, that
build
was a
on
good bait
7.
by
I'm curious
OCs,
if
I
he'll
guess, if
maybe
he
go
knew.
back towards Spirit now, or if he'll stick with a committed gun. I have seen that build look good before. Mirage goes all in, but maybe wasn't expecting this. Demov showing up for the counter kill.
Yeah, they just
Walled
threw
in by
it away.
McGinnis as well, and that's a really nice kill to find. Empty Dreams trying to make a play on the side lane, but Tation comes in to punish.
And here again, you know, this is exactly why Calico's so expert. I mean, I don't think anyone can do it better than
gets killed
Calico.
here.
Goodbye.
So close. Overseas was, I mean, what, sub like 20 HP, 10 HP? He had to be down to the absolute wire.
That is really unfortunate.
Kill would have been super worth if Sonic could find it, but in this case, just doesn't quite have the gas.
You got to worry about those stomps. They're much more dangerous now. Okay, quick escape.
All right,
we do have
first
one
turn
coming
fight.
up here, Jake, and we know we talked
First
about
turn fight
it.
in
Leviathan
the
have a
Venator
really good setup. They
has
got all the circles
rotated
for
over
these,
to the
these
drop
urn
off.
fights. So how will Abrahams handle it?
There's 4 yellow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is the moment where they should be strong. They need to be strong. Mirage.
Ooh, I think this
Getting
Mirage
kind of swarmed,
is
hit from all sides, but the roll comes in from
But
Saint.
it doesn't matter.
Even he just doesn't have the HP.
I still
OCs
think he
brings
gets
him
out
down,
because
just
the
that raw
Viscous
gun damage.
sacrifices himself.
And with the Lycan Curse proc, they're going to get a free pickup here.
I mean, the whole thing here is they're trying to send over the Venator so they can get this Guardian before the urn
Okay,
fight.
across the map they go. And
But it's really, really bad
No,
because
Hubba's
now
defense is
OCs
gonna
is
look
going to
for
get a
Abrahams. They're
solo
gonna be
lane to
looking
farm
to
by
take the Guardian
himself
down. They
against
should be
a very
successful
weak
here.
Mirage.
You've got Arzo picking that one up.
So, I mean,
So looking
Abrahams
to be in position
Abrahams
to
is
potentially
probably
fight for
losing the
this.
straight
And
here
at the same
coming
time, Leviathan, they have to get more players over there. They will have 3 players for the initial drop-off, but looks like Abrahams will have 4 players. 5 players now.
Like, I just
for
don't. I
this
mean, Mirage
contest.
can
So
TP
this
over
does
though.
get kind
That's
of
the thing. They
interesting.
are actually that's
In terms of the
not
ultimates,
true. They are
there's plenty
TPing
available
over.
for Abrahams. Although we really think about
They're having
Leviathan's
the urn
ultimates
here to
more
make
so
it
for
so
these
that the
team
Mirage
fights.
can't TP over right
And
away
now
is
having
actually
to
quite
just
a big
hold the
deal.
urn. And one of the new dynamics, Jake, is you can't hold it forever anymore.
Yeah, right. It's, you know, you can juggle it for a little while, but eventually it's going to start to hurt. It's going to start to put that damage down. Sonya is scouted.
It's actually
Which, I mean,
looking
there is
okay
a
for
real kill
Abrahams.
threat from Demov here with
Because
the
it's
slowing X.
Mirage. Because it's Mirage,
Fremont
it's actually
holding her,
fine.
but you can see it just doesn't last for long.
I mean, I'm still learning, to be fair.
Oh, this is a huge.
But now that
gank.
Mirage is dead,
Instant
now they
kill.
should go for
Empty
it.
Dreams gets basically
Now they should
nothing
go.
off in
Mirage
that
is
fight.
gone.
Sonya ults and just tries to run away, but there's a chase down coming in.
I think
mean,
McGinnis picks this
don't
up,
think
but the
Demov's
problem is
gonna let
there's
this one
2
go
people on her,
easy.
so she can't.
This is a very important kill to find. Long just before Sanya's able to cut line of sight.
It's actually crazy how
taken
they're
out.
bringing this game back.
It's going to be reset completely. So even on the overall souls and
Like
we get
Leviathan
pressure
team
from
fight better.
both teams.
They have McGinnis.
On
They
either
have
side
7.
of
They have Silver.
either side of the map here on these walkers. So I feel like we're kind of resetting
Viscous
Jake
just
into
can
more of a
kind of
neutral
counter
position.
all these
But now
characters
that the
unless
M's been
he
collected
dies.
again,
It's
will
just like
Leviathan
Abrahams
go for it
needed an
this
early
time?
lead to set up these carries to really
It feels
scale
like
late game.
I'm surprised they didn't go before. I mean,
they
with
kinda
both
sold their
Seminole and
lead.
Victoral, but the patience works out, right? They're able to punish Mirage
Because
on the
of
side
that
lane.
one play with the Venator
Couple
and
key
Calico not
ultimates are
finding the
out,
7 and the
Abrams
7
ult
coming
not being
back.
available. Even the
7 was
Calico ult,
behind, now he's
definitely
ahead.
something you'd like to have around the urn fight. Abrams are showing presence, though. It shows to me that they are not going to give this one up for free.
Fuck this Guinness character,
Guinness is going to
bro.
defend mid, but it looks like a fight is going to break out around the urn. But meanwhile, 7 and Mina are on the other side of the map, so it looks like maybe another fake out of Leviathan. They just kill off Empty Dreams again. They bait the urn again, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I just can't seem to get it across, but big fight breaking up
That's
between
a
nice
huge
swap
swap.
under the walker. The stop won't come in time to
pulls
really
this guy
convert
further
on
out
top of that
position.
one. It looks like Abrahams have all
Silver's
the
dead,
positioning
though.
here. They've managed to hold, but they don't have
Doesn't
the
even
walker
matter, though. They're trading
just
Walker.
yet. They don't have the urn. But speaking of walkers,
They're trading
they're gonna lose
Walker
one of their
and they
own
got
here on the
urn.
left side. So this actually is
This
a great
macro
trade
is
for
low-key
Leviathan.
insane from Leviathan.
Yeah, great macro from Leviathan.
Yeah.
They just never had any intention of committing to that urn fight. Abrams, though, coming in, trying to collapse on these players. They're staying a little bit greedy.
This
7 and
macro is
Mina
actually
sticking
crazy.
around after taking the tower.
It's
but
crazy. I say
looks
that,
like
and then
they're
the
too
caster
much
immediately says it
for
too.
just Saint and Empty Dreams to handle, even with the rotation in. Like,
Jake
they
immediately says,
get
wow,
kind
this
of bullied
macro is
back
like
here.
low-key nutty.
And, I mean, the net worth is starting to explode a little bit here on OCs.
That's wild that they turn it around like this, though.
It's pretty scary. We'll get a pause. We can survey. You and I, Jake. We can survey the buys, the builds. He's got to charge his headset. All right, so we got like at least a minute, depending on how fast that thing charges. Hope it's USB-C. All right, what do we got here?
I
Okay,
like this build from
suppressor,
7.
yeah.
I will say this is a very this is an extremely competitive build. Like, he's going full shred, so he's not really. This is not the solo carry 7 build in your pubs. This is a very
True.
powerful build at enabling your teammates, right? Like, the spirit
Supportive
damage
7.
he does from his 3rd skill does disgusting status effects on the opposition here. I mean, it's like you're getting multiple kinds of bullet and spirit resist shred, the headshot shreds. your 3 maxed naturally shreds. You have
It's
suppressor
a
on it.
supportive 7, but not really, because he's getting so many souls to
debuff you
scale
can
still.
get.
It's
Fortunately,
literally
you go,
like our
Mystic
fucking
Slow or
Vindicta
something.
build, but on
Feels
7.
a little much, but it's looking really like powerful for enabling the rest of the squad. Like if you're fighting the 7 and then things like Mina comes in,
like
McGinnis comes in with an ult, the Victor's running in, like that shred is going to add up like crazy. And you know, I'm worried about Abraham's because their front line is essentially Abrams and like Calico, but for Arzo and Empty Dreams, if you get caught, like you are not going to have the tankiness that you might expect on somebody like a Venator.
It's interesting because it's very reminiscent of these old Crow Vindicta builds. If you guys remember that, like that version of Vindicta when the Crow was very different, where yeah, it's huge impact for the shred on these fights. And we're gonna get a chase down now onto Taz. Taz
in trouble.
He doesn't have Baroness. Oh my God! Here comes the ball though, like a scene from Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
running him down.
It's crazy.
Space
I'm always
created
saying
for
this
the ball,
shit,
but
and then the
he's probably
casters
just gonna
say it
have
right
to
after me.
Be satisfied with saving Taz. Lycan Curse is procced from Fremont, which I don't think he's going to be super happy about. A chase down
Silver's
being
having a
attempted
really
here
rough game,
onto
though.
Victor, who doesn't have ultimate, which
So like late
looks to be
game,
going
if
very
Abrahams
nicely
does get the scale, they could bring it
finally
back.
Empty Dreams gets a little bit of revenge for these side lane ganks that have been so often turned against him. Overseas maybe getting a little bit greedy farming so deep.
Here comes Fremont looking to get a gank in, got shot it away, so can't kind of get that slow down, that burst onto Alzo is looking for, but at least forces him back a little bit, and space control is important. And right now, the whole Leviathan team kind of blocking the put down of that urn at the moment for the urn fight. It's been interesting how it's been challenging for both teams to really get that King of the Hill situation going. I don't think we've really have we had it? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it shows both teams have basically opted to fake with control, right? Like, you know, they're going for a pretty committed. There's 3 players
first
pushing the
urn
side
is
lane
all
here
about
with
getting
Mirage,
that walker,
so no
right?
intention from Abrahams to actually go for this dunk. See
So
if
I mean,
Team
like
can
it could
find
just be a
catch or
fake
swap
play
here.
every time.
It's like
Get
they
it for
do
your
need
urn
to
for your
punish. Ern is
carry, bring him
taking
back into
Abrams,
the
though. I don't know about going for this dunk. Yeah, he is just faking, making them think that he's committed. But yeah, you just can't hold the urn really any longer. Even Abrams, right, with his infernal resilience, it's like, it just hurts too much. You got to go back to the base, got to take a reset.
Yeah, really interesting situation. We didn't end up seeing either team committing in for the trade on the walkers, which was kind of brewing. And it's interesting too, because we talked about Abrahams. They don't really want to go for these team fights themselves. Like that's kind of a part of their strategy, I would say. Now, I feel like we've seen that play out, Jake. And what we have also seen play out is trying to prioritize creating
the urn is also worth less than a walker this early on in the game,
and catch people out. And that
the nice part about urn though is that like
even game, and the urn's going across yet again.
Those souls are
like
those souls
so
leave after the
souls,
urn's
like
gone,
3,000
right?
souls at this point. Like both teams nearing.
Or
90.
it's like the walker
it's
souls are gone once you take
here,
them.
But you know,
whereas
still worth if you can get that dunk.
Like
in.
Abraham still has
like
3 walkers to take,
Abraham's
which is like
about it or nope.
It's like effectively you have an extra 4K souls you can get outside of urn.
I mean, both teams have. I think
if they get this urn, like it's still more valuable in my opinion to trade the urn over
and you know no one wants to take the gamble. No one feels confident to take the risk.
But like it's not the end of the world on the
very
first
interesting
one.
indeed. And again,
like this urn coming off the 18 minute. Oh, I guess they held it.
Movement from Leviathan, 3 players looking to kind of.
Oh wow, okay.
And find picks in middle. The chase down onto.
So now the urn didn't flip
onto Mirage, onto Empty Dreams,
which is like
can't quite find
kind of a big deal.
Yet again, might actually get deposited. I mean,
because now this urn isn't super important to fight over, so you can't force that into a fight into a mid boss, which is what you wanted for Abrahams.
Here he comes.
Because they need time to scale.
Grabbing some capture charge himself. See what Abrams can find here. Would love to be able to get up some nice stuns. Major team fight looks to be developing here. Mina over the top. Nox Nostra puts some nice damage down. Overseas loses the ult, creates a little bit of zone of terror, zone of control, but the Abrams slams back down. Could start to look for more targets. Have better health here for sure. On
7 all needs to go down though immediately. He's super low. If this guy, if 7 dies, they win the fight.
The knockdown comes in. 7's out of the sky, unable to really deal damage.
No more shred.
Looks to be going well for Abrahams. It's not over
7
yet.
is dead. Abrahams win this fight.
Yeah, still quite a few players up. Health is getting low.
Does Viscous have cube?
On Abrams about to die. And out of the Baroness.
He's getting killed though. No more cube. The thing is, the 21k guy is just running down this McGinnis.
A great spot, but it sounds like.
But Mina just got a pick. Wait.
But still, some kills coming in here now for Leviathan.
I mean, I just don't see Leviathan winning this.
Right now, all out.
You have a full HP Venator with shotgun just running around and killing everyone. It all just comes down to will Mina be able to find this guy?
Positional advantage and really making
Mina's looking at Venator. No. He's dodging.
Abrahams, but
find the McGinnis pick and then kill Mina.
Really looking to make this go, and the souls might just get thrown into.
Now we kill Mina. Now we kill Mina.
Jake, because this fight won't stop.
Yeah, we're down to the absolute wire here, which would be a win for Leviathan. They can hold on. Overseas is back into this fight off the respawn. Looks like a lot of the souls picked up by Overseas.
I mean, now it's a mid-boss angle.
So many kills go the way of Abrahams in this fight.
No ults for
A lot of
Leviathan.
low players though, and with the respawns coming in,
and this guy's dead as
gonna be
mid-boss.
one last chase
I
down
don't know
here
if
onto
Leviathan's supposed to
Teamov.
fight that. I mean, they already took
I mean,
Walker,
it's
so they actually have no other
closer
option to
fight
go
than you
for.
would
I mean,
think,
you could
especially
take
if
Blue, I
Arzo
guess, but
goes
like,
down off the finish. Cube is gonna maybe delay
are they
that
coming
for a
back and
moment.
winning
OC's
this?
really wants to finish some of these
I
kills.
mean, the
but
cube on
Viscous
Venator
provides
makes him
massive
live.
value.
Big parry!
A parry as well. Arzo
Shotgun
is
away to
playing
leave.
insanely well with
No way!
basically no HP left to speak of.
I was gonna say if that guy lives.
go
Wow,
down
wait, now
eventually.
Leviathan might get
As
mid.
the dust settles, I don't know that either team leaves this fight much better than how they came in.
Yeah, it's really,
Yo,
really
what the
interesting.
fuck is
I gotta say,
EU?
that
This shit
fight
is so
was
much more comp than
extremely
NA.
lengthy. Yeah, it does test some of our assumptions out a little bit because we did get to start off with the Victor roll. We got started
I'm
off
surprised
with
it's
the
me that
7
it's such
as
a
well
menace this
to
game.
control
I
space,
guess
you know,
it's
things
because
that we
like the
thought would
early game on
really be
Abraham
high
is kind
value,
of
but
rough.
didn't ultimately
That's a
end
crazy
up
good pick.
impacting the fight all that much as Abraham's played it really, really well to
Opens
deny,
up the map in
using
20
the knockdown
seconds
on
for the
7
Minotaur.
able to dodge the
I
Victor roll.
mean,
They
this
used
is
the
like
Doorman as
super
well to,
high
like,
level deadlock
escape
though
some
right
of
now
these
compared
bigger
to everything
abilities,
else. EU
while
is
still
so
keeping
much
people
better of a
in the
region
zone.
than NA.
So,
It's actually not
yeah,
even
just
funny.
great play from Abrahams, I've got to say. And now the question is, what's next on the map now that we're about to have another unspawn, actually?
I mean,
Not too
it's
far away.
interesting. Victor does not feel like the menace on the urn that he was. And oh, by the way, not urn anymore. A force on the mid boss. Really wild look from Abrams, but OC's is down.
I mean, yeah,
so
they're 7
gonna
is
go
dead.
for
They
it
have
with
no
the long
team
spawn
fights.
timer.
They have no
Leviathan
shred.
Definitely
for
gonna look
Mina.
for the contest here. But Taz
Oh
is the
my
door in
god,
pit,
the
so this
Viscous
is gonna
died
get
early.
wild.
That's really bad.
Yeah, very easy to
Wait,
have
wow,
a quick
okay,
escape.
fuck
charging
Doorman,
somebody
bro.
out into the Walker Stomp.
Baiting,
Dodge that
now
one,
that
though.
is a play. Baiting them
Very,
into
very
fighting you
challenging to
mid
get away
boss so
from
you
this
can get a
one. I mean,
pick
we've had
on
lots of
somebody
daring
because of a
escapes from Fremont,
doorman
but he's
door.
got, hey, a lot of players
And
on
you
his
can-
tail,
that is-
and that's going to be the end of him. Now
Okay, I'm not gonna
comes
lie,
the
that's
Riju
something I need to do on
Crystal, falls
Doorman.
down Nox Nostra from the sevens, and
And then
it is
wow.
a burger box bonanza, but it's Abrahams that pick up every
That
single
is-
Riju
that is
Crystal.
smart.
They're gonna lose a couple
I didn't think about
players,
that.
real quick. Still, though, very even
By 18
here
minutes, you
as
wanna have
now
that
we
tier
start to
2
see
door,
Arzo
or tier 3
making his
door.
presence known in this fight, really
Wow.
dominating some of those turrets, annoying, but really at the end of it, nothing
That's
against the
incredible.
charge from Abrams.
I mean,
and
I've learned
Abrams coming
something.
out once again.
That
better
is
in
so
these team
good.
fights.
It's so important you
Yeah,
keep your
I mean,
Blue Walker
Abrams,
then.
this is just the best team in the world when it comes to the mid boss pit. I feel like for as long as they've been a team, they have been
I mean,
snatching away
that
mid
is-
bosses.
that
So
is-
incredible play from them. The
I mean, they're
pin
bringing
through
it
the
back
door,
from
setting up
they
that
threw
first
their
two
lead, but
combo
now they're bringing it
to
back.
eventually
It's
clean
so
up
hard for
Fremont, and
Leviathan
then
to win this
able to
now
get back into
because
the
they
pit
have 2
just in
M1s
time,
that are just
calculating
super
it
fat.
perfectly.
Doorman is also in a good spot. I
little
mean,
attempt on the
I'm looking at
Walker.
Abraham's
Together
here.
is gonna
They are
catch a
for
stop
sure
there,
winning this
but,
game. Like
in
it is
the
like a
end, damage is
75,
done.
80%
Walker
chance
goes
they are
down,
in a
and with
winning
two
position.
Riju crystals to play with,
And they just got
Abrahams
Blue
may have
Walker.
done enough to really crack this game open. Not finished yet, but with just the 2 sidewalkers
No,
to take,
no,
you
no, that's some
certainly
Toss
feel good about
gameplay.
their
Put some
chances.
respect on Toss, bro.
Gentlemen,
Oh,
Piggy's
yeah.
good, don't
I
get me
need to come
wrong,
in
but
here
like the
with a
people
special
you're watching right
request
now are the
from
fucking
the
like
public.
they're
wanna
the
know,
fucking goats.
How many trophy collector stacks are we at for Calico?
Probably
Of
not a
course
lot.
they do. So we
I mean,
can get a
Tournament
mouse
Pulse is
over
gonna
from the
help.
observers. They
I
should
gotta
have some
say-
sort of visual.
I bet you guys anything. When we're in arenas, right, for this game, we're gonna do in the
14
broadcast,
stacks?
trophy
The crowd would go
collector
crazy
stacks,
right now.
and
The whole
yeah, the crowd's
stadium
gonna
would
go
cheer.
wild for it.
That is crazy.
14
Guaranteed.
stacks is, I mean, this is pretty massive, right? Trophy collector, it's definitely something nice to have here for Calico because it really lets her just stay, in her lane, constantly looking for kills and team fights,
True.
not really needing to ever do many jungle camps.
Yeah, stealing
which
doubles. I
clears
mean,
the way
Doorman is
for
so
players like Empty
good.
Dreams and Arzo to just farm up
I mean,
an
this is
absolute
just a good
storm, which,
build.
I mean, these last
Warp
successful
Stone so
team
you can
fights
hit
have
the ults
really
on these. Like,
ensured
this is
for
a
them.
good
Ricochet
build.
picked up that for
Heroic
Empty
Aura as
Dreams,
well.
and we were worried potentially about this double carry setup, but Abrahams, it feels like they've maybe
I want to see what he
cleared
has
the
his
toughest
Mystic
hurdle of the
expansion
game.
imbued to.
Getting
I'm
past that
assuming
urn
it was the
fight,
door.
getting into a mid
There
boss.
could be
and
Bell
the
here in this
later
build
the game
because it
goes,
seems
feels
like he
you
rushed his
gotta
door.
like the odds of a Mirage and a Venator together.
Yeah, it's really very interesting to see how it's played out based on some of the theory that we were doing for the draft. Abraham's making this conflict really, really good, and I mean, more importantly, the Mirage. Like, if they end up winning this game, oh my god, the Mirage storyline. It's been truly desperate and devoid of any joy for the last few weeks.
This guy's just
A bit
dead.
of an attempt here coming in on the silver. She got a couple shields, but will it be enough? Decay ticking down on her.
They did get
A little
the
bit
urn
scared of overextending into a Lycan Curse, but I mean these Call Bells just keep hitting.
I mean this guy should die, right?
Earning control for Mita, but she
The
has to
fact
back
that
up,
Silver
man.
lives there
It's
is
a question of
incredible.
whether she'll even be able to hang on to this Walker, much less the Urn.
He missed the
this
jump.
Fortress on fire at the moment for Abrahams as they look to assault this Walker and once again zone away the Urn. It just feels like they've had complete control for the most part in this game.
You just aren't ready for the McGinnis carry. That character is buns, bro. I'm sorry. That character is buns.
Had a bit of trade, but since then,
After the range nerfs, that
Macro
character's
looking
way
good
too
and
easy to get on.
looking to
I'm
use
sorry.
those
I think that
McGinnis
character is straight
try to
LARP.
get
I
these
actually don't
picks
think
off
she's good at
pickoffs here.
all.
Still though, despite that, Abrahams just are an oppressive force. They're able
Like
to force
before,
their
you
will
could
onto
literally
this
just
game,
stand
Jake.
so far away. I don't think it's good anymore. I think that
See if they
McGinnis
can find
character
any
is
more
so
out of this.
terrible.
Empty Dreams went pretty deep for that one, but the cube is gonna
Like,
purge
why would I
everything
want
off.
McGinnis when I could run so many
Saints,
other broken shit right
Definitely
now?
been worth his weight in gold on Viscous this game. A lot of big saves. Refresher's picked up for overseas though. It's a very nice buy, especially with Earn in contest.
Huge
And
walls.
Ryu's
That's what you
gonna
think.
expire
I'm sorry,
before this
Boomer. That
objective
character's
goes
not
down.
real.
Leviathan,
There's
though,
no
they are
value
down
from
the
that character
McGinnis.
in this game.
I mean, down a pretty meaningful amount of souls and a player. It's scary, but we've seen
Nah,
these
I
turn
mean,
fights go
if
incredibly
Abraham's
long.
probably
you know,
wins
past
this next
even spawn
fight. They're
timer,
like,
so
look,
I'd expect
Leviathan's
Leviathan
down. The
to maybe give
McGinnis
a
doesn't
challenge
have
here.
alt. Like, what is McGinnis gonna do?
Yeah,
She's
for
just
the
gonna
Urn
get jumped
fights.
on before the Urn fight happens. Like, what happened?
This is a
And guess what?
scary-
She
scary
can't ult now.
situation.
And now for the next
Leviathan
6 minutes,
having
she's
to
gonna be
come into the
completely
attack.
useless.
See
Character's
if they're able
mid.
to make it work out here, looking to get
They
a
find
nice
a pick
swap
on Saint
in, and that's
immediately, so
gonna be
there's no
good
more
conversion
cube.
onto Viscous.
Huge kill.
Huge kill early on, absolutely.
But it doesn't matter.
Could be
Wait,
enough.
unless the
all over
seven
the
just
top
killed
is
everyone.
cooking everyone.
But surely we Venator
On
ult
top
this
of that
guy right
fact,
now, right?
the Victor ult in the low ground. Pretty hard to evade.
Surely
the
we don't just let
stuns,
this guy sit in the
OCs.
air, right?
The escalating here, just taking down everybody. The duration
That guy
of this
literally just
ulti,
got to ult.
absolutely unmatched right now. And Abraham
They
starting
lost
to take
this
out that
fight.
initial kill on Saint. Pays huge dividends now. Those carries feel so
They
much
actually
more
lost
accessible,
that
so much
fight,
more
bro.
vulnerable. OCs with the stun in, looks good to connect, finishes off the Mirage himself, and gets the AoE on the
Doesn't
Venator.
even, like, he
This
doesn't
could
even
turn
have
into
what's
an
it called? He
entire
doesn't
team
even
wipe,
have
and
unstop.
Leviathan could have just brought the game back with one fight.
How did they lose that fight?
Crazy, a ton of events. And another crazy ton of events. I'm gonna throw it over to ZP. I got to vanish for a little bit, so ZP is gonna take over for me.
All right, getting tagged in, the tag team match here, Jake. And yeah, what a time to get tagged back in. Leviathan, they have completely come back into this game.
the
It was
McGinnis
looking
wasn't
potentially
even there
over,
for that
especially when
fucking
they're
fight,
down, like, nearly
Boomer.
20k plus rejuve, and the soul graph here, Jake, it tells the tale.
She was
Dan
dead.
just popped his ult, man.
Get outta
He's-
here.
he's-
It was the
he's-
7
he's
with
swapping. He's
now
coming
he's
back
unstopped
in a
too.
bit, but glad to have you here.
Saint
ZP.
dying out early is
Unstopped
so
gets picked
bad.
up by OCs, the prize for that fight, and that
I'm
feels
surprised
amazing.
we didn't just
Like this,
we
right?
just didn't fucking kill the
being
7
able
out
to
of the
deliver
sky.
the pain, and I feel like
Just
7
let him just sit in the air.
showed his worth in this new Urn fight, right? Like, you know, some of those smaller AoEs, they're still powerful, but you know, when it comes to the AoE circles
Back and
game,
forth
you cannot
trolling,
compete
chats.
with 7. I mean, that ult always stays
I
on
mean,
top.
I still think that
The wild part
Abraham
there is
wins
that
if they can
the
just
ult was
scale,
able to
but it's
stay
like,
with
what's
that
going
level
on
of
here?
uptime pre-unstoppable. It was just
Yeah.
OCs having a right read on, hey, I can pop it here, get away with it. And yeah, I mean, if a 7 gets that amount of uptime on Stormcloud, you're probably going to win the fight.
I mean,
Just how
exactly.
it works. And I mean, now 158k, 159k, nearly 30 minutes in. This game easily has the potential, Jake, to go 40 minutes long.
It does.
Which, again, I think comp-wise, Abraham's maybe a little bit happy for that. It's kind of a mixed bag where you have the Mirage and the Ven. So on one hand, you do
I mean,
scale
the thing
pretty
is now
well
this 7
late.
is hyper
On the
scaled,
other hand, you have Calico,
so it
where
is
you
really
just look at
scary.
the
If we
damage
can kill
done,
7,
but
we
her
probably win the game,
overall
right?
Damage into the late game, it gets worse.
Another fight breaking out in the mid. Nox Nostra
dead.
trying to come in over the top, layer down some damage, but Freemock's already out of the fight.
This
So
over is like
Abraham's, now it's
permadeath. I
their
don't
turn
know
to start
how.
with an advantage. Seems like Leviathan maybe just want to lick their wounds and catch a reset.
Might have gotten locked up by the
Not
doorman, to be
wanting
fair.
to overextend
I think the
into
dude
this
might
one.
just
Oh,
be
it looks
getting
like
hate crime.
Overseas
Hate crime.
actually didn't commit to buying that refresher we saw him buy, but instead went for a Scourge, which does feel pretty strong in this game if you're getting on top of characters like
Pretty
Venator or
standard.
Abrams.
McGinnis buys here.
McGinn is doing her best to keep contested this mid space, but definitely showing the cracks. I mean, whoever finds those early pickoffs has a huge edge. With mid boss opening,
I mean, how do you even
I
take
feel like
mid-boss with
knowing
this
Abrahams,
doorman,
they
though?
have to go for the flip here.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Silver being down.
Such
where,
a
by the
core
way,
part of the
Abraham's
team comp.
taken immense care this entire game to target Freemock first in fights, where it's usually been together, setting the stage with Sanya jumping in right after. But it's not a full boss here, Jake. They
I mean,
have a
are
little
they
bit
just
of
gonna
damage
bait it
on mid-boss,
'cause
but
doorman
otherwise
in
they
mid
want
is
to take the
just so
fight up
OP.
top. They want to go for what's actually
can
more
we
of a
see a fight,
5v5
please?
because while they're going for the fight up top, Arzo is a little bit late to the party.
A lot of ults already out now from Abrahams, but it doesn't seem like they've got many connections. Although, hold on, 7 finds himself in a tough spot, has to bump the unstoppable ulti, but the damage is coming in and it's hurting. I don't
Are
know
you
that he's
enjoying
gonna be able to
Deadlock?
stick
I'm
around
loving
for
this game
long.
right now.
Three
I mean, if
procs
7
from
dies, they lose.
Mirage.
Yeah.
Plays
90
on the high
seconds,
ground, but
bro.
Calico
Yeah, I
comes
mean,
in, finishes him off 90
once 7
seconds
is
on the
gone,
deck for
they have
OCs.
nothing,
That is
bro.
backbreaking.
Yeah, that's the downside. Of course, spawn timers changed a while back, and yeah, when you're this rich, it comes with the big penalty of you take a seat for a long time when you go down. So once more, Abrahams, 6 on 5. Don't have to worry about OCs, the most farmed on Leviathan. Shouldn't be a fake this time around, and you're still playing with Doorman, and you have Mirage for the Dust Devils. Fremont just gets evaporated, walks into the pit, instantly goes away. And now the swap comes in from D-Mob. Is it enough to get any of these crystals here? Parries are out, but no, every single rejuve going the way of Abraham's. Leviathan finds himself on the back foot once more.
What in the Marvel Rivals fight was that?
Promising in moments for Leviathan, but Abraham's once again.
They have nothing to have their Guinness. Who died with ult? Because there's a Calico and a Doorman running after her.
Waves are not bad. Honestly, there's a wave
McGinnis
crashing here
is
on
LARP.
the base. Abraham's, they could really.
This character is not good. Stop thinking it's good.
Down though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Abraham's, if you don't walk away from this with at least one shrine, you are very, very sad. You take a look at how they're spraying it out. What's the plan for Empty Dreams? Give Mirage.
Like I'm telling you guys, this McGinnis character is so overhyped now.
Those golden
She's
statues
so shit.
Even earlier in the game, Jake, Abraham's had a pretty substantial golden statue lead, and I feel like that may be even more now. And yeah, I mean, look at the amount of power they have team-wide from golden statues. It's a pretty significant difference.
The learning curve is huge and I'm struggling. I'll be relying on those uploads to help me learn my way through the ranks. I mean, yeah, right now we're working on like some pretty big guides that are like really important, but that means like we're only really going to be uploading like once a week. Like right now we're working on a lane guide to come out this week, and then after that is a how to get rich guide. And then we might start doing character guides.
You have so many other threats
because
to
I
worry
feel like
about.
characters and understanding how they work is actually really important.
You hit a good point there of so many other threats to worry about. Is that maybe this is a secret to make Mirage work? Is that you do pair up Mirage with something like a Venator, so you can't do the standard gameplay of how people are neutralizing Mirage of, you know, throw in all resources, dive Mirage, because if
characters you have in mind
Mirage,
first, I mean, like
you're gonna get ripped apart by the
Viscus,
40K
Calvin,
Ven.
Ivy,
So
the stuff that
in
I
a way,
actually
having
play.
both Ven and Mirage gives enough of a threat that you can't actually just full dive the Mirage in every
Some
fight
Doorman
and have
as
it be
well.
a working
I
strategy.
mean, I play a lot of different
I
characters.
think Viscus is also a huge part of that too, right? Having the best save in the game in the cube, able to be deployed on these hard carries, means that, you know, it's even if you're not even worried about Venator, like just actually being able to kill off one of these hard carries with a full dive is very much in question. Some decisions though to be made for Abrams now. I mean, they don't have any kills on the map, and I don't.
The 7 meta just pop up. I mean, 7 is strong because like he scales super hard, and in ranked like the games don't end fast enough. I mean, I don't think 7's like bad. I just don't think he's crazy.
Step up with Scourge and just soak the fight.
I mean, really, what needed to happen is the Silver needed to go crazy this game, and she did. She's died almost every single fight first. Because the enemy team is just like, they're specifically going to kill her, and if she ever did get strong too, Viscus can just queue, which is why Viscus is good. Like, he's not good to play in ranked because you don't know the draft. This is what should have happened every single fight though. This guy should have just been shooting the 7
Not
when
being
he was low
shot at the
HP.
7 here just yet, looking for other targets instead. Finds the
I mean, that was a crazy shot. I'll give it to him. Holy fuck.
Through the dark. And now Abraham's, I mean,
Doorman ults him in the sky. Taz, how did you get up there? He doored up to the top of the room. I don't think I've even seen that.
I love doing that on Doorman with a warp stone.
Rejuves are made to be used. Effective use out of Abraham's. It's
Yeah,
gonna get the
GG
shrine.
now.
It gets some extra kills. And,
I mean, they took
and
too
maybe
long,
it's just gonna be the game
and
to them, how
now
long
they have
wanna
a double
stay here.
fucking scaling
Yeah,
comp.
desperation
and
now. Leviathan,
now
they
they're just
have
going
to come in
crazy.
and get some kind of a counter kill off of this.
They also have Doorman.
Trying to do what he can, but everyone on Abrams doing fantastic.
Like I said
protecting
though,
each other.
I said
mean,
I like the Abraham's
plays
comp
that
more.
perfectly. I will say to be as much of a distraction as possible, but it has to just be one final throne fight. And Abrams, they're gonna drop here, but I don't even know that they are gonna stick around for this.
I mean, I probably
We'll
would
see.
stick
First
around
stage patron is
after,
going on
I
down.
mean,
You don't have the
a lot
rejuves
Abrams,
anymore,
maybe
and you
we
have a
just- yeah, we
substantial
definitely just
lead.
have to resets.
Remember, it's still best of one, and Abrahams knows better than others how things can flip. So they're going to be taking a step back. I think it's the right call in the situation where, yeah, maybe you
It's
could
definitely the right call
dive,
too,
but
because
wow,
I
you
mean,
have
look
such
at
a
their
big
characters. They
advantage, you
scale
can
so,
just win in other
fucking hard.
ways.
I like this force though. This is the kind of
Leviathan
gamble
is
you
a
have to go
smart
for.
team trying to find a kill there. They just
They just don't
can't.
see the opportunity. In fairness, it's the game is, you know, this is one of those scenarios where do you have a 5% chance to win forcing a fight or a 4% chance to win trying to hold a defense, you know, in this kind of a terrible situation in the game.
I think history has kind of started to show that it's better off going for the wild fight outside of base than trying to defend in
Doorman's
base in
really,
these situations.
really,
Like, you
really
have to make
strong
something
right now, too.
happen. Is it likely to go well for Leviathan with this sort of stat difference? No, but I mean, there's a possibility. Ideal world, I think, for Leviathan is that you have a fight where Fremont doesn't get blown up immediately, because the way these team fights have been going down, Jake, almost every time it's together in Sanya, just insta jumping Fremont. And I don't even think Fremont's been able to get the wolf half the time.
Yeah, you dispel him.
He's just getting absolutely
That might be what Sunny's running. Just dispel,
like stepping up to take that challenge
disarm.
At close range.
You just disarm the fucking.
So
that's what I've been doing in rank. You disarm the fucking Silver and just blow her up first. You win the game.
There's no Ram on the team. Like these really powerful hard saves that would normally, I mean, Abrahams has been used to great effect to punish the initial engagement. They haven't been quite coming through. You know, you wonder about this game maybe with like someone building a divine barrier for Fremont, but you know, it's hard when you don't have the heroes that are going to naturally go that direction.
Also, in terms of where heroes want to be farm-wise, you know, you have two really hyper-farm people in both the Ven and the Mirage, and then, you know, by comparison, you know, I think in terms of an opening outing for Workham for Leviathan, it hasn't been bad, but, you know, for Mina at this stage in the game, you do want to be, like, about 10k higher to have a really big impact on the game. I mean, Mina's burst just does not have the same impact if you're just average or below.
To be fair though, OCs is running a shred build, which allows the Mina to exist.
Oh, once again,
so it's like really not as
gets
bad
initiated on. There's a ton of Abrams players here converging on his position. And with that pin, that should just seal the deal.
The meta right now, oh, they have Silver? Okay, everyone jump to Silver and kill her first before she's a werewolf. All right, time to win the game
advantage is brutal, and mid-boss spawns, and it honestly
that's the issue
couldn't be a worse time here for Leviathan. They're going to be forced into this engagement.
Jake, games like this are why Silver drinks, but once more together, diving in. Shocking reanimation going to be brought out into the unstoppable. Back over and in for round 2, but okay, a little bit too much pain.
Yeah, I mean,
it's suffering for together.
Really good space made by together, by the way. That was really good.
Overseas.
Back to live for that long, double stun the Victor so he couldn't do anything after his reanimation. I mean, overall, just good space together. Played really well that fight.
It feels like he just does not miss those stakes. And with just Verkum and D-Mob trying to hold this one out.
And Fremont is done. He is just fucking tilted.
Abraham's going to advance onto the money match, showing that the old dogs still have some fight left in them. Leviathan, the new roster showed a lot of promise, some impressive fights, but for Abrahams, I think they got exactly what they wanted out of the draft.
I mean, it's a new team as well.
Incredibly annoying. I feel like Taz had very few deaths this game. Saint did great on the saves, but the dual carry stars of the show here for Abrahams.
Yeah, and I mean, really, for Abrahams, they ran this exact comp
Crazy how
yesterday,
active
Jake,
these games always are.
I mean, yeah, that's why when I saw the Mirage pick, I was just like, wait, are you going to go the Calico again? Because they ran both together and won. I was watching
I'm actually curious what the Calico built, because if she built this arm and like built a bunch of stuff to fuck over a fucking Silver, it's actually not bad.
They take the win as a result.
Because like the Silver literally can't shoot the Calico.
Yeah, great early game from the Calico, right? Like when you go for these greedier setups, you know, things can go wrong really fast if you start to fall behind and you don't have the space to farm, and you need Mirage to come to fights that he's not really ready for. But that never happened this game. We didn't get to see that world because this early tower take that came in from Calico and Venator, very, very valuable. Like even going down here to the 7, it was not a free fight by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, not at all. And yeah, all in all, I mean, I think it's interesting to see how much the meta has shifted in just 1 week, where you have the urn changes that came in, where, by the way, the urn fight here was absurd. There was a lot of people in chat, Jake, watching this going, that's the first time I've actually seen the urn go 90 seconds, and it happened in a pro game. It was very much a testament to how even this game was at a point, even with arguably
these fights can get crazy. It's super fun for like me, because I mean I come from Overwatch and Rivals and all these hero shooters, so like I love big team fights, but I know some people are gonna hate them.
Both teams I think had like one really big urn fight go their way, but what made the difference for me in this match was that Abrahams, both times the mid boss went down, all 3 rejuves claimed by Abrahams. Like for me, that often, I mean, as long as we've been playing competitive Deadlock, right, it's been crucial that you get those rejuve secures, and Abrahams, they've always been the best in the business at exactly that. I feel like this is a team that is so aware of how to play the mid boss.
Kidnapping
I mean, talk about something that shows the veterancy for a team.
Like, and then having like the door downs, the Dust Devil's always going to be on this mid boss location.
Ability to coordinate, make the right decisions.
That is so strong. That is so strong.
Draw things out. Fantastic.
To have a doorman like that.
And in the end, Abrahams
walk
away with the win on to face low-key W in the money match.
I mean, I've done it before.
Won't be easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Like so fucking strong.
No, not at all. Also, if they bring this out against Low-Key W had experience against it yesterday, so presumably Low-Key W has made some countermeasures. I think part of why this comp worked, though, Jake, diving a little bit deep into it, was the fact that they were able to combo burst damage onto dives. I mean, again, you look at the game plan that got executed over and over and over again. What was it? It was Together goes in, sets the stage, goes in on Silver, and then Calico is there immediately on top of other damage being brought in. But the core of it was getting both Abrahams and Calico at the same time to basically isolate someone for death. And when that person is Silver, a hero that, remind you, that was the highest budgeted hero for Leviathan. It was picked at first pick. Where generally speaking, that's a hero you expect to do a lot for you in the course of the game, given you're putting that big of a draft priority on it.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
Fremont was just erased most of the game.
Just got
so
shit on the whole
I mean,
time.
the
All right,
strategy
the
for
items
Abrams is
on
clear and very well executed.
No disarming hacks,
Yeah,
just straight up went for kills.
We just didn't
Is there
feel
disarming
like
hacks
Silver
on anyone?
was in that first
Okay, on
pick
Saint?
spot, you know, where we've seen many games where Silver
Anyone else have a disarming hack?
eviscerates
No.
these heavy M1 carries, and they just
I mean,
can't
I guess
play
they're
the
just
game, and
killing the
that's why
Silver.
this character gets picked in that first slot so often. But it feels like Abrams have a really good
How many
counter
times did
strat to
Silver die?
You know, that's
8
honestly how
times?
this game
Really?
felt.
I mean, McGinnis
Would
died
maybe
9.
love to see
She only
Leviathan
died
maybe
8
go back
times.
for
I
a
felt like
little
she
bit
died
more of a
every big
powerful
team fight.
save to kind of keep her up through that and get a little bit deeper. But Saint, great stats.
I mean,
0
Tank
for
Buster for damage, some
25
Spirit Burn,
assists on the
Boundless as
Viscous,
well.
and I mean a massive investment in Spirit damage.
Decay.
So like the damage to this Viscous is pretty real, and he's having some key saves in the fights. But it's also Taz. I mean, this is the Doorman effect. 1 death on Doorman. 5-1 and 27. Insane hero damage. I feel like we didn't talk about him all that much in these games, but he's just old reliable on the Doorman in these fights. Like constantly putting down big damage with the Tank Buster.
Disarming hacks is so
obviously
strong
is like having huge impact, isolating players out of the team fights, and especially in this game, there was a lot of characters who couldn't make their way out of the Baroness in time and end up taking that full burst of damage.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Doorman brings to any given fight. Doorman is giving you top in class damage, where oftentimes you see Doorman as the top damage in the game. Doorman is also giving you the banish effectively.
There'll be another pick ban phase
where just having someone out of the fight for a long period of time has hidden benefits over it, especially when it's a priority target. And yeah, I mean, no one hates having Doorman on your team, which is why he's such a high priority pick at the moment. But yeah, here's our full stats screen. A little bit more in depth on the details and the item builds. And, it was close for a long period of time, Jake.
Really
and, at one point got evened up about 30 minutes into the game. And once Leviathan took the lead one more time, it was pretty much out of reach. Or rather, once Abrahams took the lead one more time, it was out of reach for Leviathan.
Yeah, looking at these stats, I did feel like the 7 carry, it wasn't bad. Like, there were some
7 is
impact
fine.
team fights from OCs. But I think we saw some of the limitations of this frontline setup. I think the McGinnis coming out of a losing lane feels really bad. I think like for this McGinnis to feel good, it feels like you really want to be taking tier 1s early, generating an early advantage, and your team can hopefully snowball on that. You get some space to farm up and to be this like big scary ult in a lot of the team fights, but didn't really feel that from Hapex.
Never scary.
In this one, I think coming off a rough start, McGinnis feels pretty uniquely bad compared to other heroes. Workham though, I mean, great showing from him. I think overall. Top player damage in the lobby, pretty low deaths, was able to put a lot of space creation down. But I think a lot of that comes from Mina's ability to escape from these initiations. A lot of these other teammates were not so lucky, right? Fremont had to take the brunt of this Together Abrams, Sonya Sniper, Calico, which, I mean, devastating stats across the board from those two.
Well, we got to crown our MVP, and we would be derelict in our duty if we didn't give it to Sanya, playing Calico for the first time in a long time here in Night Shift, and taking home the dub in a game where the Calico actually looked quite good, Jake.
Actually,
with Together,
she does have Hunter's Aura,
damage check-in,
which is really good against Silver. Really good against Silver.
The first 15 minutes was a big reason as to why some of these lanes felt very uncomfortable. And you talk about the bad McGinnis performance, the combination of taking down Fremont in these fights meant that the McGinnis was usually one of the people getting dived after. Like, Sanya didn't let Hapex have a lot of room post Fremont dying in these fights, and it was just a tough game from the pressure that was able to be put down here, in no small part to the combos that Calico was a part of.
It's great to see Sonya on these like more aggressive fighting characters. I mean, he's such a strong carry performer, but it's exciting to see that he can bring it on this wide range of heroes. I mean, definitely a player to watch in the future in Deadlock. I think, historically in hero shooters, whenever I see a player that feels like they can pilot heroes in completely different categories to an insane level of play, I think those are the players that end up lasting an incredibly long time and, being some of the top players in the entire pro scene. So for Sonya, a great early game to set his team off on the right foot, and some great finishing team fights to close that one out for Abrahams. And so for our money match, it is going to be Low-Key W, our title holder, taking on Abrahams as the challenger.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and for Abrahams, of course, it's not too big of a surprise coming in. I mean, they have been the #2 team in Europe in recent results. And for Leviathan, again, I kind of called it in the middle of the draft, is that regardless of how you looked at the draft and how things went down, this is a team that literally just changed up 3 players. Even though some of the players are some of the more storied in the scene, like Dimov, you can't necessarily expect the team to come out with their peak performance in week 1. Deadlock is a little bit too complicated of a game for that. It takes some time to build team synergy.
Yeah, and I think the proof's in the pudding for this team, right? To have played Abraham so close, like, you know, one of those reju fights around mid goes differently, and Leviathan walks out of the pit with the spoils there. Honestly, like, you very much believe that they could and would have won, right? They were at a serious deficit. They had some big team fights to kind of bring the game back into contention, and there's not many squads that can kind of make recovery fights against a team like Abraham. So definitely, obviously, you know, expect more in the future out of this Leviathan team. But that's all for them in this week. They are eliminated, of course, there in the Challenger.
So the money match is set in stone. It's going to be Abraham's taking on Low Key W once again. Will the changes of the week be in Abraham's favor, or will Low Key W defend their position? Tune in after the break to find out.
Oh, base health plus 29. So got a character like Paige. What's her base health? Plus 29. So yeah, Silver is also really, really squishy. Maybe Silver's counterable. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see it maybe where this character isn't as good as we thought she was. There is a world where the Calico pick, it's this weird Joker off meta pick that's really good into the Silver. I could see it. I actually like that a lot. It's really interesting. It's like the Silver character still has like a lot of things you can do against it, where you hit the 3 here and then all of a sudden like you can't move. Then one thing too is like Calico also is such a thin character that might be difficult to even hit in the first place. I mean, you'd probably pick up this and just start running around like this and just keep killing the Silver over and over again. Pick this up and you're good. You're golden. The Silver can't do anything. Actually, I quite like that. I quite like that. I mean, Silver is still like one of the best characters in the game right now, if not the best character. But this is an interesting way of countering it. Because like when I say that Silver died literally every single fight, she died literally every single fight. And this item is really good for Calico. Deadlock is such a good game. Who wins this round? Let's see after draft.
Welcome back, everyone. The money match is upon us. I did not mute my microphone this time. ZP and Jake, and later DDK to bring you all the action here in our final here in EU. And Jake, again, from the last match, things are changing in the meta here in Deadlock.
Yeah, we already got a little bit of a test of that, but you know, some old classics also making a reappearance. You know, to see the double carry come out for Abraham's look very solid. The fact that they can win the first earn fight with that really surprised me. I mean, I think that's just impressive play from Abraham.
Yep. Also, I got to call chat for one moment here. People are saying, man, Freemock, stop dying all the time. And while, yeah, it's true, Freemock was the target there. Here's the thing. We haven't seen an Abrams Calico basically in forever. So I actually think this is a case where the aggression of that strategy and being that hard on the dive was not something that you could really be prepared for until you deal with it. And yeah, I think you put Freemock against the same situation. Things are probably a little bit more measured, but that was a strategy, Jake, that, you know, was some of the highest burst damage.
I think Loki W wins, but
yeah, it's one of those games where like maybe you go like almost pure green on silver, just try to survive that initial burst of damage, but you know, also not end up going for these like hard safe supports. Like, you know, there was the opportunity, not that, you know, Paige or Kelvin are really being picked all that much these days, but right, it could have, you know, been a shifter in the dynamic here, of course, around those initial bursts. So the draft for Leviathan, I think, basically just getting punished by Abrahams with the final pick Calico.
Well, we got to talk about what's going to be going down here in our EU final. And of course, to do that, we got to talk about the reigning champion. That's right, Low-Key W.
Doesn't this piece of hair Low-Key
the
piss
team
you
that's
off,
been winning it all as of late. Winners of the Night Shift Open, current kings of Europe. A lot of old Buff Enjoyers history on this team, Jake, both from the player side and, of course, their coach and Lightbringer, frequent friend of the show. And you know, you look at this roster, they went through a little bit of tough times where they replaced Empty Dreams Zergy, but, you know, kind of going to the point I was talking about last map with Leviathan, where, you know, I wonder what their growing pains are going to be. Low-Key W, they just made a change of one player from Empty Dreams Zergy, and it took them a few weeks to finally get their rhythm back.
Yeah, and I mean, now that they have, right, the W's have been anything but low-key. I mean, they've been really dominant, right, crushing through the Night Shift Open, defeating essentially all the other top teams, even in North America, right? So it's a statement victory for Low-Key W, and now making a run of things in the Night Shift, wanting to maybe reenact that Buff Enjoyers era of dominance. Also a couple newer faces on this team like Vrake and Cosmetical, but these guys are quickly joining the pedigree with the rest of this squad and all of their experience.
Yeah, and you know, for Low-Key W, they've been the team to beat, and you know, they are mortal. It's not like they go on streaks where they win everything, you know, 10 in a row historically. Like, even the Buff Enjoyers era, you know, they'd win 3-4 in a row, then, you know, lose a game. But that also is a testament to how competitive
Should I watch your videos
is.
on Phoenix for Rivals, or are you asked? Let me know, my brother.
Which of course is going to be the other team in this game. And you know, you talk about hero flexibility. You know, it was a big story in the last game, but you know, Sanya able to go from, you know, position one, always playing M1 characters. You get Empty Dreams joining the team, and Sanya goes, yeah, you know, I'm just going to do a little bit of Lash, a little bit of Calico.
But like, I will
fill whatever the team needs, and you know, really gave an extra level of flexibility to this Abraham squad.
I mean, Phoenix is legit. You just shoot bad guys. How much harder can it get?
The flexibility, you know, I think is going to prove to be key right now with the way the meta has changed. I mean, you got players like Saint,
has got the best trolls.
Played the Abrams at times.
I mean, these are real.
Supports, but also
the people are real. The
cases
are real. And the rulings are final.
More of an aggressive frontliner. I think Arzo and Empty Dreams on the dual carry really impressed me. I think that's not an easy style to make work, given your greed in the early game. But when you're able to win your lanes with those kind of heroes, like when the Venator comes out with an early tower take, it really just sets you off on the right path in a match of Deadlock. So Abrahams, they'd love to repeat that.
I'll sub. I'm rocking with you. Wait,
Low-Key W.
You're telling me you watched a Deadlock live stream
on the defense too?
Wait,
so
I'm so confused.
This is going to be one of those matches
that
is,
put you
know,
on
even
this
with an
live
early
stream
lead,
if you
I
weren't
just don't
already
think
subbed.
it can be decided quickly.
You don't even watch
when
Deadlock.
teams of this caliber are matching up.
You're asking about Rivals.
Yeah, and you know, for the teams,
I'm actually so confused why YouTube.
I mean, have a player question going on in regards
You're
to
a funny
Seven.
guy,
In
but
fact,
like,
this is the full transparency here.
I'm
happy
actually
to
so
read it on
confused how you ended up here.
Go through it here. It's basically saying, can we ban 7 ult damage through wall if you're point blank to it? I'm gonna say in this case probably not, just in the sense that if you ult near the you're gonna say, oh, you just can't ult near a wall. 7 for me, I mean, it's a little bit. Yeah,
I needed a motherfucking Phoenix guy,
right? Because like you're gonna end up.
But how did you end up on the
floor
live stream?
or the walls? Like maybe naturally.
What?
Or getting
click on,
pushed
oh,
there
this
or
dude's
something
live.
like that. So it's a hard.
Oh,
it's
and
one
saw
of those
you
bugs that's hard
live.
to ban.
Okay.
On top of that, if it were like on one
I
of
mean,
these
the
like
Phoenix
super
guy was
premier
actually pretty
picks,
good.
maybe I'd feel
I mean,
better
it's a little
about it. But
outdated
7
now, but
went 12th in the last game. Like it can be good, but I
put 2
am
marks,
sort of
Phoenix
skeptical
slam, boom.
that it's going to be all
Shoot
that
bad
dominant
guys.
in the meta.
Welcome to Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually another good point, which is what we use for criteria, where, you know, there was a bug a while back where for Wraith, healing booster was giving her extra impact on her card heal, right? Where people ran the percentages and it was like, whoa, this is doing like 35% instead of 25%. Can we ban healing booster on Wraith? It's like, No, like people have known about this and they're still not picking the hero. Like that does not rise to the level of the ban. Like it's a combination of it needs to be like bugged and it needs
Can we
to
stop
just
yapping and do
make
ban
the hero
case?
so broken
got
that
all
you
day,
feel
bro.
like it's first ban, first pick. If it's just like, guys, McGinnis is benefiting from this bug and now she might be picked 12th. It's like, okay, great. They go for it.
Yeah, I think you know, I'm curious to see how it plays out, right? If people are able to get more mileage. I mean, I think that's part of the challenge of Deadlock, right? Is like some bugs that are like so bad, so egregious.
That guy came out 15 years ago, Marvel Rivals years, and guess what? It's still probably better than most guys on the market.
More moderate or on heroes that aren't necessarily the strongest. It's like, yeah, maybe this is just it's a bit of it's early. You know, it's the nature of playing it that way. This is an alpha, right? After all, that things are going to be a little bit buggy. Not every patch is going to be perfect.
Get some water now, Jeff.
So yeah, I think we might just have to live with that one. Teams are maybe gonna have to figure out if they want to pick 7 a little bit earlier in the draft to consider it maybe a more valuable tool if you can ult through the walls.
Yeah, I mean, and 7's draft position at this point in the game was around, what was it? It was either like latter part of the first half of the draft or, you know, at the beginning of the second half of the draft, and sometimes eating a ban in scrims on second bans. But, you know, for now, we're not going to go our way the, you know, ban 7 from ulting near a wall. We'll see what happens as a result if it increases the pick priority. But, you know, the reason why we're talking about it here and giving you some insight into the back of things is that the players were not drafting while this was getting figured out. So, you know what? If that's what's stalling us, we might as well talk about it because, Jake, that helps us fill downtime while waiting.
We love filling downtime, of course. That's our specialty. That's what they pay us the big bucks. Not really, but you know, hey, it's part of the job as a caster.
You guys are talking about
curious
Jake?
to see what
he fixed his hair.
Sort of new picks, or not new picks necessarily, but like the different picks that Leviathan was going for will be adopted by either of these teams in this series, right? Whether it's the McGinnis. I think like the McGinnis didn't look great last game, but I think if you put her in a stronger lane where you're actually winning the lane, taking towers, maybe starting to roam around the map, take more T1s and progress the game from there, I think this McGinnis hero could look stronger. But maybe the teams will take that one tough L and say maybe they don't want to go with that kind of an experimental option. To your point too, I'm curious if Viscous starts going pretty early, maybe consistently before that second ban phase.
Yeah, I mean, and some of the drafts Viscous was just because of the ability to protect, and I think just, you know, in general, his abilities are pretty good at area control the way these fights are currently being fought. Also, you know, it's funny, chat was memeing about, like, can we ban Rem? He's taking the sinners. You know, Rem was nearly banned today globally before the start of the show, and the reason was that there was a bug that, by all accounts, is fixed. We told players not to use this bug if for whatever reason it wasn't, but basically there was a bug with Rem in where you could use tag-along on a hero and then use tag-along on a creep that was in the process of dying. If the creep died before the tag-along hit the creep, it would full reset the tag-along to where you could use it again on the hero and like keep chaining heals like at a way higher rate than normal. And apparently it broke laning phase pretty badly. So without that bug being fixed, Rem would not be present today at all. But Jake, the filling is getting a little bit less here. The draft has begun, and GT gonna be first to be banned.
You know what they say, ZP, they do lots of things, sometimes bugs, but I'm always, you know, I think Rem is becoming one of those new community favorite characters where people want to see Rem play. They want to see what's possible on, you know, the cute little guy himself. I hate the Doorman ban from Loki W. They've been a team that has, I think, been pretty relentless with this, and I agree with it. I think the Doorman
soon Paz is going to be on night shift.
In any strategy, it's incredibly powerful. Does great damage for
Abraham's probably picks up like
a economy and farm.
Here's what I was thinking.
And is an amazing laner on top of that.
Abrams, silver plus.
They're going to be able to sneak the pocket through with these bans.
Abrams, maybe.
I mean, I will say these are two really good, not necessarily answers to pocket, but I think two good tools to have in your kit when you're matching up against pocket, like all the spirit nuking
Paz
from
go
GT
pro.
And,
I mean, I would love to.
Doorman off the board.
It would require me to play the game literally all day.
And I mean, Loki W, they've been a team where they don't fear giving up the pocket. Like more than any other team, top team in either region, they're the one team that's like, nope, play the pocket. We'll play around it. We'll buy divine barriers.
These players just that much better than everyone. I mean, they have a lot more time, right?
But to no one's surprise, Jake, first pick.
I think there's a world where someday maybe I play pro, but like
silver. I think it's probably been
like this Victor character's
thing that people grab.
I mean, it's good against pocket, I guess. Not
what
even
surprises me a little bit is that they go to Victor.
Because if you die once, it's fine, right?
Maybe the Abrams in this situation.
Yeah, could be an option. I think I liked stealing the Abrams away from Abraham's. Like, they have been one of the best teams. It's a Paradox first. I wouldn't be surprised if Abrams is not the next grab. for
I don't
Abraham,
play 12
which
hours
is,
a day, chat. I'm
not
working.
something I love to say, but they
I'm
do
writing
keep picking it,
scripts.
so I don't have much choice in the matter.
I'm watching DNS.
It's gonna get worse. Next time work in progress plays, remember they have a player named Mo.
I don't play 12 hours a day. I don't have that luxury still.
Like apparently he's also a Mo and Krill player. So it's gonna be
the
great
pros,
when Mo is on Mo.
I mean, they've
you
been
can
playing
say
for
Mo
12
and
hours a
it's
day plus. They've been
double,
playing it since
covering
like
both ends. But
Alpha,
when Mo
which
is
I've
playing
had
against
against
Mo,
Alpha,
it is
I
going
just
to
put
be
more time
hell,
in
and we're
Super
going to have to deal with it someday, Jake. Abrams, though, is going to get picked up from Abrahams, and what I wonder here, Jake, I don't think you steal the Calico
E5.
as a pick
I'm not in
because
a
I don't
bad
know if
spot,
it works without the Abrams backing it up.
I could play
but
this
I
game
do
for
kind of
years and
feel
maybe
like if you were
eventually.
watching the last
But
series,
it's not really my priority.
like you're light bringer doing your calculations, maybe you ban Calico in the
aren't
mid-stage
16
bans
anymore,
here, then
can't game
not
all day?
deal
Yeah, true.
with the burst combo that Abrahams did back in the.
It's not
best
impossible to
one.
go pro in this game.
Yeah, they also might be thinking
But
about
it's just like, it's a
something
little
like the
difficult early on.
Venator that I think showed real promise last game, not only winning its lane, but then like being a key fighter. I think Venator also is one of the better of the M1 carries to deal with these like run you down frontliners like Silver and Victor. Like Venator is probably one of the strongest at like kiting back, defending himself, and turning those things around into kills. Like a lot of times Abrams and Calico were starting those pickoffs and pressuring.
I'm not as against going pro in this game as I was in Rivals.
It felt like that was oftentimes like the finishing blow in some of those moments.
I don't even know what I would go if I was
Loki W
here.
See where they go next. They do still have one more pick before that mid-stage
Maybe
ban.
Shiv?
I'd actually kind of like to see the Viscous here. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. I think this.
I mean, it's
actually
good.
means maybe you don't need to worry as much about something like
it's
the
good against
Calico,
Abrams
because
Paradox.
this all-in burst one guy strat is not going to feel good against Viscous.
Yeah, I mean, you have the cube. I think on the other hand, though, there's just a possibility of, do you really want to deal with it? Like, Viscous is not going to be in every single fight.
Floppy, that's coming out this week, unironically.
Some of the bigger fights, but
it's coming out. It's getting worked on right now.
I'm a big fan of taking away weapons that the other team has been able to use. I think Abrahams, when they ran Abrams Calico against Loki W and Scrims, they also won that game too, backed up with a Mirage. So the entire using Mirage plus Ven plus Calico Abrams.
Yeah, I mean, I took a break at the same time you did. Then
used to really good effects. So
although I don't have a
Loki
plan
W
on
to be
ever
banning
going
at least
back
something from that pool to disrupt what has otherwise been, a very effective Abrahams composition.
I'm also planning on doing individual hero guides when the game
out here, especially because
the next big patch I'll probably start
so
doing it.
You suspect for Abrahams it'll be Empty Dreams on the Pocket, which I think Pocket can occupy an interesting place in a draft where I feel like you often need to give Pocket some side laner priority, and so I think it's a lot less likely that Abrahams go for the sort of double.
When do I think
M1
the game will go public, or when do I think the lane guide will go public?
So maybe taking away whatever you think is like the more threatening possibility in that lineup could
I
be the
was
look.
thinking it was going to be this year open
like
beta.
Ban out the Mirage, feeling like maybe that's
because this
the
next
bigger
patch is
threat
going to be huge. I think this
than
next patch could be open beta.
That being said, I think Loki W
it's not next patch. It's then at the start of next year. Like next year, the game definitely comes out. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to say.
Loki W has had a
Valve is so in the
Warden
dark
in official matches recently.
I can see early next year open beta or like this next patch open beta.
You can make the real argument here of even if Zergy prefers Warden, Zergy still could play a really good Venator, and Abrahams having to play the Warden as opposed to playing the Venator is more of a hit to them and thus more of a
once
draft
this game
win
comes out, this
for
game's
Loki
gonna
W if they go in that direction. Rem's gonna get banned out by Abrahams.
It's crazy because the player count is already where Rivals is. I know.
The Rem ban?
I know.
Like,
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Rem
The thing is that Rivals has over Deadlock is that it is on consoles.
I do feel like it would make your draft a little weird to pick the Rem here. I guess, and then it is a Pocket, so like the Spirit Resist is going to be super valuable. And Loki W goes Sinclair here. So I mean, okay, just like stealing the Pocket ulti, right, is consistently been a massive impact play for Sinclair. And could be a problem.
I don't know if
for
this
somebody
game will
like
ever
Abrams
be
playing the front line. This also gives you
winning
an
at 0-0 right now.
Mid-boss contest.
Aiden.
Like
I think Loki W is winning this draft
you have the
pretty
Rabbit
fucking
Hex
hard.
on top, which is actually I think a nice combo. Like
I mean, they're going to be able to keep their Silver alive. They have the Victor against Affliction, so even if he dies, it's fine. Also have the Sinclair to steal the Affliction. It's not looking good for Abraham.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Even in scrims, I think the Sinclair had mixed results. Again, Sinclair, he's had a better win rate over the last 2 weeks than he did before, but in a lot of these games, he is very much potential man of the theory always checks out, but the execution at times is like so variable and how it pans out. But being able to clone Affliction is one of the strongest clones in the entire game, so you don't necessarily feel bad. What I'm curious about for Abrahams, though, is how they finish this out. I mean, they could
instead of banning Rem, they should have banned Sinclair.
Go Ven Calico and feel decent about it in this
situation.
situation, especially
the game would kind of be worse. I mean,
Mirage off the
board. I don't disagree with you.
Now I'm just curious
skins
if Calico
in this game
comes out.
I mean, they're going to
I think
make skins,
actually you don't need to pick Calico until last pick for
it's going to be hard to like
any
see what's going on.
where Loki W grabs it with their style of draft here. So even if they're going to go Calco, I think they grab their other higher priority pick first, unless they're just saving it for, you know, the adaptation.
They go Wraith. They could go Warden here too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Abrahams are actually in a great spot. Like, they're kind of getting everything they want here. I think Loki W clearly has a very different vision of the game though right now. Like, I think maybe both teams are actually going to get
Warden here.
most of what they want, most of
could be
the way they want to approach the game.
But probably
Predator, though, looks scary to me. I mean, I think Arzo looks fantastic on the hero. Looks super comfortable for Abrams and is a real issue in terms of the poke damage he can put out, assisting players like Paradox and Abrams starting fights, able to get down and dirty when Abrams, you know, or if there's a Calico there as well, right? When they get those catches coming in, I think Venator absolutely loves stepping up and hitting some of those follow-up shots, finishing off some of those kills, maybe with the Iridomini if it's needed. So for Loki W,
yep,
love to see if it's justified here to go for the
Look,
Sinclair.
I think the Calico is actually good. The only issue, though,
the Calico now and like
picking up Calico when they have Viscous is kind of LARP.
I kind of like this from Abrahams because like you just feel so good locking this in, right? It's like your last pick can just be responsive to what comes out next from Loki W.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tension here, right? Is that it's not a pick that was going to go off the board, but this now gives them the ability to adapt with final pick. Also, there is another angle on the Sinclair. Like, you look at the Sinclair here and be like, okay,
you have to look, Aiden.
Which you still have the option to.
Mina,
but
you have to look at the last match, dude. The Calico was running the silver down, bro.
More of an orange build, and then your
it was actually not that bad.
Is actually really impactful. Like, that is a thing we have seen, and it opens
How do I have
up
say in the
some
bands? You don't.
Sinclair,
this is pro play, so this is a little different.
That comes into play either, but we get the Mina
draft needs to get added to this game,
which of course is pretty much directly for Cosmetical's hero pool and what Cosmetical is comfortable on. And hey, it did work in the Night Shift Open too.
He just bolos the Calico, though? I mean, that's why the Abrams is with him.
Is there any chance of this being a Zergy Victor?
It's Abrams and Calico, bro.
Like the carry
Viper.
Victor. Nope, it is not.
That's a good pick. I'm surprised I didn't think about it.
And Viper carry is something we didn't talk about at all in the last match. Again, was completely uncontested. This has been another one of those picks that Loki W is playing. Not many other teams are. Very curious to see how Viper pans out here. I think historically, Viper has struggled into some of these like very aggressive, stun lock you to death kind of drafts. If you're able to catch the Viper first here, you have a Viscous save, which is nice, but Abrahams, I mean, they're certainly going to have a target on Zergy's back this game.
Yeah. Also,
I'm surprised that Victor was picked over the Shiv, but I guess it kind of makes sense when you're playing in the pocket.
Comp. Like, that just seems like the most hellacious thing to fight mid boss against. Between
I do the beginner stuff once every 2
Sinclair
weeks.
Existing, between Silver's ability to just
Venator better than
damage
Viper
and mid boss fights in general. But like, Victor dying
in
on
this draft,
in this
draft, Aiden, they didn't have the chance to pick Venator.
Floods the zone with spam. I mean, good lord, the mid boss fight for Loki W is heinous. I mean, it's practically a war crime. And for Abrahams, though, getting Shiv last pick, always pretty high value. I think, you know, Shiv's relative value in the draft, you know, he's gone a little bit lower, but on the same note, Shiv's impact has still been really high.
Yeah, I think Shiv is just unreliable, right? Like, you know, he's going to deal big damage. He doesn't have the best game. He has that execute threat, and it's going to be like a pretty tanky option to bring down. However, I do like Viper decently well into that matchup. I think of all the hard carries, it's like Viper's pretty difficult to maybe consistently hit with those knives while she's sliding around. And then, of course, that lethal venom often, like, after you escape on Shiv, the bloodletting ticks down, the lethal venom hits at the sort of the worst moment for you. So, you know, this is a very low-key W draft. Abrahams, though, get just about everything I think they would have wished for in this one. Maybe a doorman
no supports for Abrahams.
I don't think they're going to be upset at all about how this draft shook out.
Support is not a real
after
rule
a patch,
right now,
every team maybe getting a little bit more freedom to play what they think is best and see that clash.
Also, gotta give a shout out to one of our more consistent
sure, they have
Paradox here on the Night Shift. Chrysana 14 with the 10 gifted. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Support
as
is
always, you know, a wonderful presence on the stream, week in and week out, Jake.
Yeah,
support is like a state of money. It's not even like a thing anymore.
Remember, feed us your Prime subs. Click the button if you still have that Twitch Prime. Little reminder for the
people. No, don't listen to him. Prime sub me.
Maybe snoozing on their
Prime sub me, chat. I know you have it.
We will put on Deadlock esports events with it. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Why do you do the 6-7?
Works for me. But now we're just waiting for the players again game. And also, the return of Dan is imminent here. So, you know, technically the plan for me today was hosting all day long, but had to fill in, you know, a little bit on cast just because of a prearranged thing. But he's
like supports like
here, Jake, and we'll be back on our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, we'll
Viscous,
see Dan
Ram,
can join
like
us. Sure,
stuff like that.
Like sometime into this match.
They're not really
teams, of course, getting ready into this one. And
they're not really real
I guess
right
as you
now.
look at these two drafts, CP, I mean,
play
they're both
as a
so
support.
different.
I mean, yeah, you can play Vindicta too.
Style and presence
a lot of things
and like, the way
as
they
support,
want to
but
play
it's
the
not
game.
like
But
it's like
just
the
gut
archetype
feeling, who do you
of
like more right
being
now,
more
having seen
healing
you know our first game here on the new
oriented
meta
is
in
not
that challenger
good
match.
right now.
I think
You might
overall
as
I
well
like
just kill
Loki W,
people.
and part of it is
Or
that
stop
I
them
don't
from
think
taking
the
damage
Abrams
altogether,
Calco dive is going to be
which
anywhere
is
near as effective
killing
against
people.
Loki W because they have so many tools to break away, whether it just be Mina
Or Cube.
existing period. You have Petrifying Bola, you have Rabbit Hex, you have Viscous Cube. Even if you do go on the silver early on, you can have Viscous drop a cube. You can have
I
Sinclair
think
drop
people
a hex.
sleep on Kelvin too much right now, to be
Xerxes
honest.
there,
I
Xerxes
agree
can
with you,
slow the
Aiden.
entire
I
thing
honestly
down.
do.
So I don't think
The only issue
you
is, like,
have
would you
the
really want to play
combo,
Kelvin into this?
Power in this game that
Like,
you had
I
in the
don't know.
last game, because there's just too many answers for it. And then not even the greatest amount of targets, because even if you don't have abilities being used to interrupt it, generally speaking, if you go on Victor, well, Victor's just going to get back up. Viscous can self-cube. Sinclair is usually going to be able to get away. Same with Mina. So in general, the only person they can go after is Silver, and Silver has to be not near any of the people that can
I'm
save
saying
her
does
for it to be
Loki
effective.
W
So
really
I actually
wants
think the Abrams
to
Calco
play
burst
Kelvin
combo,
into
while very
Abrahams.
effective
I mean,
on
I think
paper,
this, if they go
runs
Kelvin
into all
instead of
sorts
Shiv, like it would be
roadblocks
pretty good.
the way Loki
honestly.
W has structured their team.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you have to deal with
expecting,
Sinclair and like
that to be a lot
Victor
harder this
dying
game
and
than
then
it was
stunning
last.
everyone.
But I do
and,
think
like,
Pocket and
Stone
Shiv
form
with the spare
inside,
damage they can bring to
like
bear
Stone
are going
Bola
to be
inside the Viper.
really crucial for Abraham.
I think Kelvin is
game.
still really good.
If the
Aiden,
Pocket
I'm not
has an
gonna lie, I still
amazing
run it on
game, you're
main, but it's
snowballing
like,
into some of these like crazy late game
I don't
items.
know.
I think the
Sometimes
max
I think
affliction
just
can
killing
be
them
a big
faster is just
problem. I think
fine.
obviously that dance between Sinclair and Pocket of trying to steal and have a high impact is going to be crucial as well, because hey, if that Shiv gets a runaway game, I mean, there's nothing better than a Pocket affliction to mitigate some of that impact. So shout out to the chat, seeing a lot of those primes coming in to folks, you know, maybe recognizing they have one in the bank. So we appreciate you guys passing those our way. We plow all this money right back into the show, able to do, you know, more Deadlock esport events, more community opportunities. So definitely appreciate that from the fans here.
Yeah, and also, sorry, I was going to say here, we got to give some love here to those who have been watching us week in and week out. Production just noted, Sweet Cowman just hit a 50 stream watch streak, which is absolutely wild. So that isn't just every night shift, because we're not night shift 50 yet. That's every
Apollo fell
party
really
that's
hard out of the meta,
too, which of course
he
we
got
do when there's
kinda
other
gutted.
big events in
I don't
the
think
night
he's
shift
like
community.
unplayable.
So,
I mean, I've been
absolutely
winning
unreal
games with
stuff
Jack
from
on
Sweet
Apollo.
Cowman.
It's
Very
just
much
that he falls
appreciate
off
the support.
super
But
hard
we are
late
gonna be
game.
in
Doesn't
the
have
lobby
the escape that he
soon.
once
We're just
had.
sitting
There's
here
just better
filling,
characters
but,
at doing what he
the
does.
players should be good to go in just a moment, and we'll be on our way.
That's a great point, though. A 50 stream watch streak is insane, and you know, as much as we really appreciate all the subs, our YouTube members over in the YouTube chat, our Patreons as well. Hey, even the folks just, you know, showing up day after day, watching, being part of the show, letting your friends know about it. It's also a massive help to us in growing what we're trying to put on here with the Deadlock esports events. Definitely excited, you know, with the earn this you know, new change. I feel like the earn objective feels more fleshed out than maybe it ever has before, where we still have that little dance before the earn comes down of will they, won't they, are they going to even attempt to dunk it, are they just baiting to pull attention elsewhere? But then when the actual fight begins, really in the past, that was like the end of the earn fight. It was like, oh, somebody got it to the dunk, it's over now, you know, the earn objective is out and they're just fighting. Now that's sort of just the beginning, right? Just the tip of the iceberg in terms of how those fights go down. And I do expect teams to really adapt to that. I think Loki W, a lot of circles here, not an insane amount of circles though. So for some of our circles enjoyers complaining about who's getting more circles in ranked, I don't know that either of these teams has gone all in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, Loki W, the funny part about their draft is what makes it absolutely ridiculous for mid boss also would have made their comp the most absurd in the last iteration of the Earn, where you had the melee. Like if you had to go in the melee against everything Loki W could throw on point, it would be ridiculous. But now that you have a little bit more space, you can play around it as Abraham's a lot more effectively.
What's up?
And
Yo, Rena, how you
also
doing?
the funny part about
Guys,
last
I'll
game
probably
too
watch
is
the
that,
first 10 minutes of the game, and
it was
then,
very tentative for Abraham's and
to
actually going in for the first Earn attempt. Like it took a while for the 12-minute Earn to actually hop into the objective. In fact,
I want to
we
warm
missed
up
out
and
on
then
the
play some games
18-minute Earn.
offline
It was
later.
the 12-minute Earn being held through 18 minutes and finally being dunked. So, you know, actually forcing the Earn as soon as
Maybe I'll try some
possible,
Viscous
not
today.
necessarily
I feel like Viscous
as
with the
much of
people
a
I play
thing
with
as
is
it
so
used to
bad.
be.
Like, I don't want to go Viscous when
I
I
think
have
last game was a little bit of a rare
Pocket's
occurrence,
just gonna get out
but it
anyway.
is still more likely to happen.
And whenever I have a
in this
silver on my
patch
team, I swear to
than
God, they
previous,
just
the
suck
way
ass,
teams are
bro.
treating the current Earn.
Yeah, and I will say some of these tools, like whether it's Pocket's Affliction or Victor's ulti, like they're still nice when the enemy is grouped up around the Earn fight. Like you can expect to hit a pretty juicy AoE there, but compared to the old Earn, where like the Victor ulti on the old Earn as it was dunking is like, what do? You just die to it, right? Because you have to come in at melee range. You can play around the Victor ulti, even with a huge amount of like AoE investment. there's going to be positions, there's going to be cover for players to stay alive and kind of extend that fight a little bit deeper. So I think teams have to actually think a little bit more completely about how they want to approach the earn fight rather than just, hey, blitzkrieg, everybody run it down, pop all your circles on, you know, the dunk itself. You need to win the fight. You need to actually box the enemy out, take that trade, which is interesting to see on that kind of area of the map where typically we spend a ton of time there, but we spend it in the laning phase when it's just a 2-on-2 and, you know, everyone's poor. We're all just like starting to level up our skills. So it's interesting to see major team fights take place on that
Lemons with the tier 1.
Also, we got a full-on hype train going on in chat. So
one
upside of the fill here while we're waiting for the players to get ready.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Is that a new tier 1?
We had some time for you to
that's a new tier 1.
That's right. Of course, Saka came in the 10 gifted, which of course is very much appreciated. But that screen being up, Jake means production has the players in lobby. We are about to go full live.
I will watch the first 10 minutes,
exactly
chat, and then I'm going.
As, wait, we also got a $100, well, 100 NOK donation saying former Team Fortress 2 God Cosmetical Easy W.
Okay, I didn't know Cosmetical was a TF2 player. That's cool. That's cool. Always fun when you meet people who play competitive TF2.
And we got a pause lock.
That's
see
been
what the
my
lanes
first
here
competitive
are.
game.
Venator
It's
Calico
one of the
makes
OGs.
sense. A shotgun to wall, you just blow
I
them
feel
up.
like you feel some of the spirit
Pocket
of the movement of that game, at least in Deadlock.
I mean, I guess if you charge him into a wall, the pocket
Okay, that is
stuff,
10
and then you have
US
roamers
dollars is what we had there. To
Is
the
that
prize
Jake from
pool, where,
Overwatch?
we will get the prize pool ticker up.
I don't think
just
he
realized it is
plays,
missing.
but he does do casting.
But yeah,
Yokai with the gift.
We'll see how this one pans out. Very different approaches to the draft from both teams here, Jake.
Thank you. Appreciate
and
it.
I think it's going to be a good contrast test as the teams, by the way, are not accurate. It's flipped on top. There we go. Look, the magic occurs. Now we got Loki W on the right side. The right side being the correct side.
You used my prime already, so I had to commit. Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah, watch your words, ZP, as getting into the laning phase here. Really curious to see how the Venator does in this game. I mean, last game, the lane went about as explosively as possible. This one, I like the odds quite a bit better for the lane Loki W are bringing to bear here. Viper plus Mina feels like an insane amount of damage to put
That
in.
is a hard lane
once
to
they
win.
get a few levels and some of these key skills.
Against
I think this is going to be a test for Arzo.
Viper Mina, that is a very hard game to win.
Mina starts proccing those love bites. You know, you get some lethal venoms coming in from Viper. That
He's
HP
like
buff can become a liability.
He's like the handsome, richer, and cooler version of you.
And
he's like 27, bro.
Until we get back into the post game,
you're comparing me.
We got Dan back on the
to
cast.
being more poor than a 27, 28-year-old, bro. Actually, let's look it up now.
Me, Jake. We're so lucky here at DLNS. Have such wonderful people, Jake.
Hey, this dude's a 29-year-old.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, bro, he makes more money than
What's
you.
my favorite thing
He's
about ZP?
29 years old.
I'm gonna say I think ZP has a heart of gold. I think that's something that maybe folks
Of course
just
he's gonna
watch
make
the
more
show.
money than
You know, he's a good caster. We like ZP, yeah, but they don't know ZP as a person, as a deeply kind and generous human being. So that's my favorite thing about ZP.
Wow. Okay, moving back into the game.
I love a little positive affirmation, man. The internet's
How well has
ridiculous.
Calico been playing today? I mean, Calico first game
Where's the love, y'all?
really gave the enemy team a lot of problems. I'm interested to see if it works here. I don't think it will because of the viscous cube, but it really just comes down to execution, right?
I miss your thoughts. You know, how do you read this overall in terms of the, you know, which team came out better on the draft here, and what are we looking for in the early laning phase?
I think Empty Dreams getting the pocket is always going to feel pretty good. I think for Abraham's, you know, this is very much a classic draft for them with a lot of these features that we've seen be successful. I mean,
Together
Calico can find a lot of these explosive burst kills.
Really good. Really good
you
player.
got Together Shiv,
Especially
which
on
is
Shiv, very
one of the
scary player to
forbidden
play against.
player-hero combos of Night Shift, right? It's been a while since we've seen him play it, but he has historically been one of the very best on the hero. So I think Abraham's getting a lot of what they want here. Loki W are a team that's sort of going their own way though with the
what is that, Abrams skin? It's a mod that only DNS uses. They also have one for silver now too.
Even consider. So a lot I think is on the line from an experimentation perspective in this match.
Do better to do it, I gotta say. You know, I feel like
we're gonna see a roam into blue lane for this tier 1 capture. We already are actually. We're seeing Viscous there.
So there's somebody else. I forget which other hero. Did I say Warden? Yeah, I said Warden. There's another one. But you know, they're a team that set.
Can I see the Viscous 1v1 with Abrams, please?
I trust them with my life.
There's a gank going on, and we're looking at people shooting creeps.
Has been so incredible.
Who is the observer here?
When he first joins Loki W, and it was like, Is he
looking at the map?
Good? Is he still good to play at this level? And you know,
actually
give him a couple
pisses me
weeks.
off. We're looking at someone box run.
Just around the team.
There was a gank going on,
and he's just been looking incredibly
at the 3-minute 30 mark
again, which is so fun to see. If you're a fan of Deadlock, or if you're a newer fan,
all right, a new gank going on at 3:30 here. Calico's over.
Streams as well, and EU as well.
Now we're getting some good roams in here, though. We're fighting for these tier 1 camps.
It's going to be interesting to see the
trying to put on pressure at good timers.
It's been pretty popular, Jake. The damage output's been pretty crazy.
Giving a lot of good farm over to the Venator here.
Solo farm. Hard gun carry.
First wave, you really want to give a solo farm.
Also curious to see how Obakim takes the build here. I mean, we've seen people do some early investments in gun damage on the Sinclair to be like a more threatening laner. Personally, my favorite is just the maxed out Rabbit Hex with Echo Shard build. I think that is just so powerful in the team fights. A really extended disable can hit on multiple players and just completely add massive levels of chaos.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, dude. The observers
in on top of that
for Deadlock Night Shift.
Speaking of Pocket, by the way, has gone a very defensive build here, and he clearly needs it. I mean, the pressure in this lane is immense, and
how valuable are the smaller pickups? They add up over time. It's like not something you necessarily need to focus on, but it's something that definitely is good to get.
That does make a lot of sense.
Teams with more golden statue buffs like definitely will scale harder into the late game.
To be in the late, because it's kind of like you acknowledging that you're kind of losing the lane, having to invest defensively on an aggressive hero is it's a great call out. And we do have the fight over the bridge buffs. Abraham's last game, they managed to get pretty much all the bridge buffs, so we'll see if they can continue.
I mean, the Abraham's draft
is like 1-for-1, but
so
Loki W, the winner of the RNG there, I'd say.
It's just like if they can win, if Loki W can just live that first couple of engages and then they're out of position because they pushed too far, Abraham's
having a little extra in that department. Definitely cosmetical, I think, coming out of this laning
phase. It's like
pretty nicely.
These comps have been so strong in Deadlock for so long.
Buff, find some kills, and maybe start
because it's just like frontliners in this game are just so incredibly OP. They do so much damage and so much health.
Over the game with some early aggression.
It's been that way forever.
Talking about a hard game for Empty Dreams because Cosmetical just picked up Spirit Sap as well, and Pocket's Spirit Resist's already kind of sus, to be honest. So a Spirit Sap, Vitality buff, you can't kill her. Cosmetical is definitely running this lane right now. All the dodge of the splatter.
I mean, such a hard lane to win if you're Pocket, by the way.
The splatter is really annoying.
Viscous Mina in the Pocket,
jeez, constantly chips away. It does so much damage.
What are you talking about? It's so, we love the Viscous.
Oh yeah, it's really, really weak. It sucks. It needs to be buffed.
Yeah, we should buff it and increase the damage and the bounces and everything. I will say, when they made the first
so
level of the
LARP,
skill
bro.
Still have a bounce, I think it's so much more fun to play Viscous now. That was such a fun change, actually. Hitting people with a little double bounce on level 1. I mean, it's not that good with the damage reduction. By the way, Affliction, gets absolutely juked from just one.
These people that say Viscous is OP, like it's so LARP. It's so LARP. They don't play the character.
Maybe some kills to be coming. I mean, no,
they take 200 damage in lane. They're all of a sudden, this character's OP.
Yeah, this lane has been an absolute struggle
because they stood next to a wall.
Sure. It really has been. I mean, we'll have to see how Empty Dreams handles it because he's obviously a great player, and we'll see if he can still have impact into the game on Pocket. But a slow start on Pocket, it really sucks because Pocket can really like snowball things really quick off of a good start. So what to do there for Empty Dreams, and this Guardian's looking like it might go down pretty shortly.
I will say the trades have been bad for Empty Dreams, but his economy is shockingly good here on the Pocket. I mean, 5.3k, so I guess he's getting a lot
see if the
of
Pocket was
boxes
leaving. That's
out
actually
of the
really
exchange,
smart.
and
I should
still
think
getting
about
a ton
that
of the
more.
souls out of the lane. And Saint, for me, Saint has actually been one of my favorite Abrams players to watch recently. You know, in contrast to some of the typical frontliner players who play the Abrams,
Mina's been so strong for so long too. I feel like she's kind of weak right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Relatively minimal.
She was really OP last patch,
like
like needed hotfix worthy type
It's gonna be put to the test though, because decay online for Viscous.
Decay on Viscous this early. Honestly, it's not that bad against the enemy team. Like you're playing against an Abrams fucking shiv, dude.
All it takes is one good engagement. Nox Nostra though is looking very well positioned.
This is such a hard lane to
take down.
Mina fucking Viscous against
he's continuing. It is just building and building.
Like that's why the splatter looks so OP, by the way, guys.
He's definitely
because the Pocket is down 15 spirit resist.
And that's going to give the tempo advantage to Cosmetical on this Mina, and that's going to be a scary thing to deal with.
Yeah, because he's trying to do what he can on Empty Dreams to like defend just one more wave on this tower, which he actually will be able to do successfully, which is a big deal because that means Saint's going to be able to come back in. It's going to take another big push to get this one over the line, and it's a little uncomfortable for Mina at 600 HP. Like, in theory, you should be able to take that tower, but you get caught in the stun, you could be dead.
I mean, they've already given up on that lane. Abrams is already ganking. Abrams is already dying as well.
Is it going to be enough to try to escape to safety? Yes. Get some coverage there as well. The Seismic Slam stolen to slow things down a little bit. Hoot on this Silver. I don't know if you guys talked much about the Hoot Silver, but Hoot certainly an absolute menace.
I think that's a good point. I think Hoot probably the best silver right now. If I had to pick one, just makes so much happen on this hero. I think Arzo is going to be put to the absolute test by him this game. Ult is pumped at Alistic, but the damage is pretty massive. The bullet just barely goes wide, but Calico is in a rough spot. Has to be some
now Abraham's
cheeky
just
movement
down on everything.
to play way out of this one. And, kind of an awkward wall
Not
bounce, but
looking good
maybe
for
the
Abraham's
shop is just too far of a chase for Loki W to believe is worth it.
Actually surprised with the
They are going to get a Sinner out of this, which is actually a pretty significant prize.
They're quite losing that lane, actually.
Soul's being denied, but that was enemy Sinner, so getting anything out of that feels good for Alistic.
Actually, no, it's about even. What am I saying?
Yeah, very nice indeed.
One team still has the fucking, what's it called?
Well, now some of the Guardians are going down. We're exiting this early laning phase. Boots, the boot kick there, trying to lock these players down.
It's actually looking pretty good for him.
A kill from Boot here is in a very good spot.
Look at this wall.
That time was actually so sick.
Taz is so expert on this character. I don't know that I've even seen that before, but it still just delays the inevitable. Enough, though, for the tower to go down. So, you know, in the end, give up a kill. You do not feel bad about that as Abraham's. I mean, job done by Taz.
I mean, I like the positioning there from Sanya Sniper on the Calico. Very, very deep. Again, Calico, such an effective assassin.
Just in the sewers right now.
I've missed Calico's presence in the pro level. Good to see her back. Hoots needing to back off. Lycan Curse though comes in.
Yeah, I mean that's really unfortunate that you already have Lycan Curse because now this Calico's value is just like so diminished.
The Guardian net. Has some teammates with support as well, not overextending. They get the Guardian, so they get the value they need. And Sanya Sniper in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, lethal
escape.
Venom. Taz done for there. Yeah, he's gonna tick out from it. And Zergy getting active very early on this Viper.
Back in the game, taking blue
leaving
Guardians
Mina and
really
Victor to farm
here.
the side lanes. And
they got Depot
really
and
nice
the
because it
blue
means that
lane
you've kind of gotten away with the deceptively greedy draft as Loki W. By the way, pocket shopping. I think Zergy's about to come out of this TP. Am I crazy? Oh no, I guess the other side.
I see Sinclair.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, maybe it's worth a lot of people watching MT Dreams' demo of the early laning phase in this game, because his lane was getting absolutely wrecked, but he's managed to stay on track despite that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And you know, he had to invest in, as you say, more on the front end of those more survival items. But MT Dreams, he's got 11k. He is tied for most souls on the server with Cosmetical, who was dominating his lane.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is one of the best pockets. I think one of the most experienced. So yeah, you might put a crazy spirit nuking lane up against him, but he's already kind of hit that point where, hey, the early game has been dealt with as pocket now. And
yeah,
you know, getting some levels in the cape and the suitcase, you're going to be an incredibly hard target until some counter items come out. Speaking of that, though, Hoot does grab a slowing hex. So, you know, some of these players like
Slowing
Saint,
Hex is really
especially
good here, though, because,
together, that maybe rely on the movement skills,
Sniper
could find themselves
from using,
more vulnerable than they might expect.
And then you have Bola as well.
Really,
getting Tove isn't as easy.
Yeah, Slowing Hex is such a high value item, I feel like, for a hero like Silver. Especially when you pop the Lycan Curse, it just simply will not be able to get away.
That as well.
Good presence in mid here from Loki W at the moment. Urn is coming up, so
it does protect him quite a lot though, with Grid as well. Like there's actually a lot
control
of
the mid lane. There's the affliction.
And he can't even get the counter afflict off in time. Empty Dreams. Cotton bursted. Very nice find here from Obukim.
Slowing Hex is such a good item, though.
It's cool to see the Sinclair play picking up again.
Sometimes I just be buying it because it's just
I feel like Jake, we've got actually like a lot of very good heroes at the moment. Whereas I thought the meta was not like that in previous times, but you know, I'll maybe come back to that point here. We do have the battle switching hands being dropped on the ground there, but who coming on fourth with the Silver, and it's just so hard to do. This is one of the reasons why Silver's that first pick. So oppressive when Lycan Curse is activated.
I mean, if they get this Urn as well, it's
the swap there, but it's just not going to deter him. He's got the melee there, able to slice away, and there's the lead to try to get out of this position.
But it doesn't matter
maybe
because like
off a bit more.
This is so good. It's going to take them so long to get to that fight. Plus, they're not going to be able to take this blocker either. Like, it's so good for Loki W.
Good bait from Taz. And for Hoot, I think you maybe would have loved to not fall for that one, because now the Urn dunk feels a little more tenuous. Opportunity here for Venator to farm up on the opposite side lane, but a lot of players coming to that dunk location. I think both teams know that this is not going to get off without a fight.
I thought it was. I thought it wasn't the end of the world though that Hoot dies there.
Interesting
makes it a little bit harder for Abraham to actually fight this
King of the Hill battle.
Looks like they're just going to try to walk her anyway.
At the moment, but Abrahams are looking to show some threat and
presence. Damage is so crazy. I mean, that's the game right now, right?
That's really where the problem is. Also, looking to get a solo Walker. Nobody's there just yet, and there could be some assistance.
Not the end of the world either way,
as well to that left side Walker. What's this Urn? is being toyed
with. Like the first urn is being baited so often now because it's like I feel like being on this side lane and just trading out Walker is like so standard now. No one cleared this wave though, which is really bad. But they did get a kill.
On by Abrahams, but
that Walker's just gone anyway.
A trade off of it. So it's a good recovery. To your point though, some nice Walker damage on the side Walker. It's not nothing, but you do not want to be giving up kills for moments like that, especially with Zergy able to collect and get like a nice little.
Because like only 3260, it's like a Walker is 4,000.
Runs back to its starting position, and a big catch on a Pocket. The slowing X's just layered on top of each other, and Pocket, no dispel magic just yet. Empty Dreams, a couple big pickoffs going against him.
I feel like
Nina
the first turn
looking for more now.
6v6 is like
just running out of gas. Doesn't have many escape
tools.
Walker has his own dispel magic,
get
but
more
I don't
souls
know
out
that
of
that's
it
going to be
early in
enough.
the game.
I mean,
it kind of depends on the comp that you
not
have.
Even needed
the state of the game.
Finishes off Saint.
A lot of this times, like people are just baiting.
That's clear the space to get that urn dropped off. And again, the macro pressure comes in. You got Abrahams looking to get some pressure on the mid walker. And
Orzo has
Arzo pressuring the left
he
side
has
walker,
ult.
so you can't.
I think he wins against his Viper.
And we'll see what the decision is for Loki W. How do they handle this?
Can we see the 1v1 on the side?
If you deal with that mid push whilst the urn is being deposited,
and now it's a
3v1. There's no one to stop.
I mean, now they're just straight up trading
because they're invested in that.
I honestly think that the Venator has 1v1.
It's got to go down for this to be a trade that makes sense.
Okay, they do kill Zergy. If they can grab the Walker as well, it's going to feel pretty good.
W gifted sub to AWI.
Wow, I can't believe it. Abrahams, if they can hold on to the turn, that would be absolutely insane.
There's no way this Victor gets there in time. I just don't see it happening.
Run away, make as much time as he can. Has a very tanky build on this Abrams.
Oh my God.
Finds Taz, equalizes the numbers. He's just fully running for the hills here. This is, I think, why Abrams.
There's no way. Wait, there's no way it works
here, but even he eventually will succumb. It is a huge affliction though from Empty Dreams, and there may be still a fight to be played here. Affliction onto 4. Abrahams still brawling, still trying to trade this one out. See what Sonic can get done. Players ticking down. Like Spawner's gonna come back into this one. We could even see the urn go up in smoke.
Yeah, very possibly. That would be an amazing victory for Abrahams if they can manage to do that after picking up the Walker. Still trying to make things happen here. Oh, the parry comes in. It's not going to be doing all that much though, and it's looking like Loki W. Surely.
No way.
Okay, but still, there is just so little time left here.
Oh my God, he got it!
The souls up into the air. Oh my God, Abrahams, unbelievable. I can't believe they managed to delay it for so long. Saint just.
It doesn't matter though. They lost so many people there. They lost that fight so bad.
Running around the pillar.
Yeah, the pure stall from Saint was insane.
That
He's
is
got the build to support it too with the Dispel Magic. I mean, Loki W, we're certainly starting to sweat, especially when the 4-mana Flick came in, but great composure from them.
So not only did they win the Walker, they also subdued
they still find the way
negative
through the fight.
effects of that
they
team
still
getting
get the
earned
majority
as well.
of the kills
But the thing
and
is,
the
they
urn.
did also
they
lose
got
an
pretty much
entire
all the
team
souls
fight
for
for that.
themselves.
So
with of course the cleanup coming in.
I don't know. It's not necessarily great for Abrahams.
So Abrahams now potentially in a rough spot this game. Almost a 10-key lead opening up against them.
Empty Dreams getting.
That's actually crazy he solved for that long.
If we look at the souls, it's interesting because yes, Abraham.
They also still lost the souls on the urn.
Arzo is doing really well right now on Venator.
I thought it was split both ways. They still shoot them.
Oh, big
they probably still shot them. To be honest,
that's a deep swap. Of course, the silence through the time wall, and suddenly really big problems for Obikim. How's he going to get out of this one? Is there an assistant? No, there's nothing. There's no tools to work with, and Obikim goes down.
Yeah, you don't want to be too confident.
Imagine if Toss was long enough though and shoot
this
some
level
of
of play, right? Whether it's the
crazy
X's, the stuns, the layers.
They almost like
really
hard outplayed.
Abraham, showing that they still have a lot.
The only
of
issue is like you're down 6K now going into this next fight. It's still playable, but it's not great.
You know, Pocket and Paradox. There's a lot of explosive burst that can come out very quickly for people trying to keep these lanes out.
Okay, I want to watch this next mid fight. And then I gotta go and end.
They're looking pretty good right now. Obviously,
I gotta go eat,
but it feels like
I want to play some games
their
later.
time is upon us. Kinetic Carbine. It's gonna get negated by the cube. The urn's coming up, and right now feels like the priority on the map is generally even. A big collection of players from both sides in that mid position. Now starting to gravitate a little bit towards the urn, perhaps. As the lanes are a bit more pushed right now by Loki W.
Zergy really wants to get towards that Merc Mag. Pretty early buy for that item. See if it pays off. Going on a Viscous
Paradox swap
is an interesting choice. Drake is just gonna
it's an interesting ability.
And get out of that one. Here comes
Paradox
Zergy though, getting on top of some of the
back
Paradox
swap is like
from Abrahams. Loki W now piling on the
burger
aggression. Not a major soul advantage, and actually Zergy gets caught. Big stun comes in. They execute just a little bit out of range, but he takes out the Together's knife. Taz also falls, so a 5v5, a little bit better health for Loki W, and they will punish Together for going so deep.
This is not good.
Good cleanup.
This is not good at all.
It might get even worse here, and it could even
we're
lead
taking
into a
them to
mid-boss
mid.
potentially if more
And we
kills are
fucked up the
converted from this one.
movement.
Loki W getting the chase on Saint. It's masterful at surviving for a long time, but he will
really
die.
bad.
And the urn is going to be
Loki
dunks,
W
and
is
the King of the Hill
running
battle
away
will
with the
start.
game,
But I don't
their
think it's
waves
going
are
to be
shit.
much of a battle here. Abraham's not really with the
We are
players to
trading
deal with this.
Walker.
But again, looking for the trade, and Empty Dreams might just get this one.
Yeah, able to find this Walker would be massive, especially for Empty Dreams himself. He's going to get hugely farmed. He's going to afflict the tower, pop everything, try and finish this one off. But I think it cost him his life. He doesn't teleport out. Okay. So it just baits. I think Zergy was chasing the cloak, but Pocket could be in real trouble now. Doesn't quite have the suitcase up yet. Caught with the petrifying bola. But where's the damage fall? Zergy actually has to play for his life now. The assist has come in. Zergy finds himself afflicted. Empty Dreams will get cleaned up, but it does cost
What
the
the fuck
carry
is
of
going
Loki
on?
W his life.
Yeah, very interesting situation right now. Chased down here by the secret shop. And you have Sunny Sniper trying to escape this one. Does have some support from the back. There's a Rabbit Hex coming in. It's going to whiff though.
EU is a
Fight continues.
region.
Nice lockdown there, finding Allistic into the wall, and that's going to allow Saint to help just get his teammates into a more defensive position. Yeah, Sunny Sniper fighting on the rooftops here against Hoot. I don't think you want this fight though. You got to be very careful. Oh, Metal Skin as well there. I can see on Hoot. So when he gets into Lycan Curse, it's going to be very, very difficult for Arzo to do that damage.
Arzo and Cosmetical right now is kind of gearing up for a clash of titans between these two, both at 27,000 souls, so both are massively ahead of the game. Rabbit Hex onto the Shiv is a consideration of going for the commit. An early execute attempt, not going to be successful. Together, he is taking a bit from the bloodletting, but a big swap potentially grabs Vrake. Massive find by Taz. Viscus got a little bit too big for his britches there, and maybe they're going to look for more as well off the back of that. Who stands his
Dude, I
ground?
just want to see
They're
who
not gonna
gets
give
mid
up the
boss, and I
control
want to
so
go
easy.
eat. This game is so burger right
There
now.
you go. The brother comes in, but Seismic Slam. Oh, looks to deny.
It just
but no.
picks back and forth the whole
That
time. Who's
shotgun,
going to fucking take
the
mid?
buckshot really hurts, and we've talked about mid boss before. Are we going to go for the drop here onto that? Well, actually, hey, they got some kills
That's a huge
maybe
affliction, though.
in the path. Empty Dreams goes down. He gets
I
caught
mean,
in close quarters. That's not where you want to find yourself.
think
as
you still
Pocket.
fight it.
And
They're
all the
also
way here, I
fucking
hear the
low.
Aerodomini in the distance, and there we go. It gets popped by Arzo as he looks for some damage.
Can he find these exits? Listic actually pops his ulti there from the affliction. Cosmetical has to just be all the way back to base. And so even though Empty Dreams does go down, I feel like he's really
But I always
feeling
get my
the
ass
pain
beat.
of
That's the
these
best part,
entangling
bro.
bola and the slowing
That's the
hexes
best
just
part when you
layered
get shit on
constantly
and
top
you
of
learn.
him. Definitely
why
just gonna
Deadlock
wanna
is so
pick up
great.
a
Every
Dispel
game you
Magic
play, you
sooner
always
rather
learn
than
something.
later.
There's
The damage
yeah, I'm not
affliction's
doing
enough.
the
There's not
exotic
gonna be
mission
any
today.
kind of
You
mid-boss
play with
attempt
like
just
I'm sure
Yeah,
Kuma and Chris
Cosmetical
want
was
to
like
do it.
1 HP. If they had converted that Cosmetical kill, that's probably the
I'm not doing
difference
all that
between
shit
getting
today.
mid-boss
I might
or
do
not,
Pantheon later.
for Abrahams. And
I'm waiting for
I mean,
people to get on.
they've been trailing a little bit.
No, I just wanna see who
for
gets
quite some
fucking
time in this
mid-boss,
map,
bro.
So we'd really love an opportunity to take some momentum like
Do it with
that, but
Pip and
they'll
me
have to
later.
work
I
harder
think
for
Pip might
that.
have work. I don't
And
know.
you've got Loki
The thing
W
is, you
here
go to
that
sleep at like 8
have
o'clock.
a lot of
so
players
it's
here
like
towards
kinda
mid looking to go
the
for
opposite of my
these
schedule.
plays, these pickoffs.
I mean, today I have to do work, bro.
But
That's the issue.
both teams, they're so good here, Jake.
All day
It's just
yesterday I was on.
not overcommitting, you know, just,
I need to
just
get work done today.
pressing enough to maybe get an opportunity, but just not overstepping that line that they would themselves risk giving up something.
I mean, at this level of play, I feel like this is really the dance that determines your ability to compete at the highest level. It's like, can you battle for the control of this mid-wave area, right? Whoever gets to stand here has a better path to the side waves, better ability to show up to these team fights when and if they do break out. Seems to be pretty evenly
people are just
matched
looking
between
for
Abrahams
picks to
and Loki
mid-boss
W,
now.
which shouldn't be a surprise given the history of these two teams. Nobody wants to make a big mistake. There's a moderate lead for Loki W, but between these squads, I really just don't count this for much at all.
Yeah,
His next turn is mid. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
10,000 souls separating the two teams. Chase down, found onto Listic on the left side lane.
Bad rhyme,
There's
shit
assistance
rhyme.
coming across. In fact, there's going to be 5 players here for Abraham's actually in the vicinity, looking to try to convert.
I mean,
and we talked about the
this
dance.
isn't that good of a commit for
Listic,
Abraham
he's
stuff
gonna
because
lose
the
his
dude is just
shocking
back
reanimation.
anyways.
Can
Once they can
Loki W
leave, which,
turn
I
the
mean,
fight
the
now back
Venus
in their
coming over
favor
with
as
the
they
fucking
start to
Mino,
push
I think
forwards
engaging
onto
all that hard
Abrahams.
on a
They've got 5
victor
players
is
here,
maybe
Abrahams.
troll.
but they're actually one down.
But it does actually turn.
Turning up for Loki W, pushing the issue for these kills, and Taz is the first
I
to
don't
die.
know. I get that you have Affliction and you
Beautiful
can try to turn
suitcase
with
gets
that,
Dreams
but
out
like
of trouble, but the
going on a
cosmetical just
Viscous
zones
all in is kind of
everybody
fucking
back,
crazy, bro.
Bringing his strength to bear in a huge way in this fight. Afflictions
That is kind of
expiring
fucking
now
unreal.
on Hoot and Listic.
I don't know. I guess it's the only thing you
Listic's
can
gonna
look
have to go
for.
Bakes and take a reset, but it's so
Maybe
far
you
a
don't
2 for
trust
nothing, and
your
maybe
Urn
more
fight
to go
here
down
coming up,
together.
but-
Actually wants a little bit of this fight. Still has some health to work with on the Shiv, but just trying to run away now, it seems. Hoot
That happens in
on
ranked
this
all the
trail.
time, where we all in on a
And,
Victor that's just
no,
gonna
not
live
a
again
catch on
anyways.
Arzo.
It's
This
like,
would be
I don't know. I
nightmare
just feel like
scenario.
it's so
The one who's
bad.
farmed so much.
It's such
Saint
a
now
bad team fight
puts his
idea.
life
Like,
on the
you have
line,
to
trying
inch on
just push
someone
back this
else.
wolf for a moment. And it seems to have been enough. That allows Arzo the opportunity to slip away to the tower. Some nice play from Saint. Not much
They
time on these
auto-lose the
spawns.
team
If
fights
Loki W want to
because
force
of their
something, they've
comp.
got to do it right now.
Or they might be just be
I
going
mean,
for
I
that
guess.
force of the mid
Yeah,
boss
but
here.
it's like.
It's been pretty close.
Surely there's a better
Abrahams have
target than
kept
the
themselves
Victor,
within
right?
spitting distance of the contest. Will they make it there in time? They've got to go for the dive here. They cannot allow these rejuice to go for free. They've got nothing else to play for on the map. They're gonna surely go for the dive here, but they're gonna just be frankly too late.
And Ebola catches onto the Venator. Arzo getting run down. This is Hoot's trademark play, just absolutely dominating your M1 carry. And Arzo Saint just do not have the tankiness to stand tall. Taz falls as well. Loki W in what now feels like a familiar scene between these two teams picks up the decisive advantage in this game.
Just GG's.
It's going to be
There's nothing they can
an
do.
earned dunk for them.
Literally
It
nothing
is
they can do when this game
disfavored against them, but I just don't think that matters with so many players on the deck.
Like a 30K lead.
HP's not amazing, but Loki W are going to be very happy to open some
counter silver
blockers
as
here
well?
and get some of those crucial slots online.
Yeah, this is quite the turning point there. The mid boss dive, and I think I wonder if in a way you see some of the differences being made here in these fights. I wonder how much of it is. For me, a lot of it's the silver and
why do they have to
also
rush
the rabbit hex.
I mean,
think
this
both
fight,
of
they
these
have
are two
Affliction.
insane factors. Like it's so
I understand
hard
what
to
you're saying,
fight
but like,
against the
then
silver
why
and
are
Viking
we
curse.
running
It just
down the
disrupts your
Victor?
fight so heavily, and then the rabbit curse as well. It's like a.
I actually don't even think you lose this Urn fight that hard.
For like an entire team, it's insane.
I don't know. I don't think you do.
Yeah, it's proving to
I think
be a
you
real
lose the
challenge.
mid fight, but I
Dan,
don't
I'm
think
going
you
to hit
lose
a
the
quick
Urn fight.
reset on my connection here, see if I cannot get
But
a
I guess what
stronger
you're saying is if
connection.
you try to pick up Urn, you're just gonna force mid. I don't know. All right, YouTube, we'll end your stream first, then we're gonna find someone to raid.
Guess you guys just have me then
for watching.
5 seconds. Although, are you back, Jay?
I am back-ish. You
back
sound
on
a
the
little
mic,
bit better
at
this time.
Oh, nice. Was I robot mode?
I think it was me, though.